Oh,
countdown is now on.
okay. 1 hour of silence, occasionally interrupted by he.
Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs from inside the walls of Bell Center in beautiful Montreal, Quebec. It's round 2, game 6, the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. The Eastern bracket has the Carolina Hurricanes already advanced to the conference final, awaiting the winner of this series. Montreal with a win tonight advances, however a Buffalo road win would make Game 7 necessary, and it would be in Western New York on Monday nights. And hello one and all, I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to Montreal. Thanks for having us in for Game 6. It is said that the two greatest words in sports is Game 7. Perhaps the two most ominous words in sports, however, is Game 6, because Game 6 indeed does mean someone could be going home with a loss. That someone tonight is the Buffalo Sabres. If they cannot find a way to win on the road tonight, their season will be over. But it has been a magical season for the Sabres and their fans. Perhaps they can conjure up some more magic here tonight and get a road victory to force a Game 7 back on home ice Monday night. For Montreal, this is a team that has not been to a conference final since 2021 when it was the Stanley Cup semifinals. They're a win away from doing that. And what a difference this series has been for this Canadiens team offensively than their first round series against Tampa Bay, which they won in 7 games. Against the Lightning in those 7 games, they scored a total of 16 goals, 2.3 a game. Through just 5 games in this series, they've scored 20 goals against the Sabres. That's 5 a game. And this young but uberly talented Montreal team that Martin St. Louis has put together is starting to really reach their potential on the offensive end of things. They have exploded with goals here in this series. They've scored 6 goals twice, including Thursday night in the road win in Game 5 to take over the series lead. So, Canadiens team in this wild environment tonight in Montreal with about 21,000 screaming fans. They haven't been great at home in these playoffs, just 2-3. The Canadiens' record on home ice in this postseason, but they hope to ride the wave of their home crowd here tonight and clinch a spot into the Eastern Conference Final, which they would play against Carolina. The Sabres trying to extend their season to a Game 7. Montreal trying to wrap it up in 6. It is a terrific atmosphere, as you would imagine, here in Montreal. The playing of the national anthems going on as we speak. And there is going to be a lot of energy in this building. There is no doubt about that. Buffalo, of course, we talked about what a magical season they have had, first making the playoffs for the first time since 2011, winning a playoff series in the first round against Boston, their first playoff series win since 2007. And, of course, there's been a lot of Sabre fans that have been able to make the fairly quick trip to Montreal. There's been a lot of Canadian fans making the trip to Buffalo, and it has created some interesting atmospheres throughout this series. Baudette, Minnesota's Alex Lyon is back in goal for the Sabres, moving away from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in goal as Lindy Ruff. Lyon is 4-3 in this postseason. This is the 4th time he has started this series. On the other end, it's Jakob Dobish for Montreal, 7-5 in the postseason, with goals against of 2.28, a save percentage of .914. The 24-year-old goaltender from Czechia that played collegiately at Ohio State went 29-10 and 4 in the regular season, and we are just about ready to go. Game number 6, Buffalo and Montreal. The Canadiens looking to clinch a spot in the Eastern Conference Final. Buffalo trying to go back home for a Game 7 on home ice Monday night, and it's time to drop the puck in Game 6. Nick Suzuki, the Montreal captain, wins the face-off from Josh Benson. Zach Benson of Buffalo, and we are underway. The Canadiens control the puck in their own territory out to center. They lose it at the red line. Tage Thompson takes it away and pumps it in. From behind the net, Thompson looking for a centering feed, went off of a Montreal stick. It's up the near wall, not out. Benson from the top of the right circle plays it up top. Matthias Samuelsson gives it up in the left circle, moving in a backhand shot. They score straight away, and it's the captain Rasmus Dahlin crashing in and scoring on the backhand of the Sabres. It's only taken them 32 seconds to get the opening goal of Game 6. Once again, in a series that has seen a lot of goals, a lot of wicked fast starts, another one here as Rasmus Dahlin made a great move to get around Juraj Slafkovsky on the left circle, crashed in deep and flipped a backhander up and over Dobish. And Rasmus Dahlin, in the blink of an eye, has made it 1-0 Sabres. What an electrifying start yet again in a game in this series. Face-off to restart play, controlled by Montreal. Lane Hutson puts the puck deep into the Buffalo zone. Bowen Byram out of the far corner winds it around the wall, trying to get it out. Philip Deneau holds it in. Plays it along to the far corner where Byram took a hit, and Buffalo rather able to clear. Between the benches, it's available, poked back into the Sabres zone. Byram, a former Stanley Cup winner with Colorado, gives it up in the right circle. A quick shot taken by Deneau, hit a body. Caromed wide to the near wall where a shot from the half board did not make it through the traffic. Loose puck goes behind the net, and it's Josh Doan on it for the Sabres. And Buffalo will reorganize with Owen Power, former number 1 overall pick, playing it to the near wall. Hellenius dumps it in deep along the dasher. Canadiens are on it. They'll break out to center from the near red line. Caden Gooley smacks it in. Out of the far corner, Dahlin was the first one to it for Buffalo. He'll try to organize a breakout, then turn it over right in front, and a shot into the glove of Alex Lyon, snapped in by the stick of Ivan Demidov. The 20-year-old who scored his first career playoff goal in Game 5 of this series had a chance out in front. As we talked about, there has been a load of goals scored in this series. We have seen a number of just weird bounces, weird caroms, weird happenings in this series throughout the first 5 games. Montreal wins an offensive zone faceoff, and they score! A point shot beats Lyon, and Montreal gets an equalizer! It's Arbor Xhekaj from the point, and it's 1-1, and here we go! Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Talking about all of the crazy things that has happened in this series. And here to start Game 6, Buffalo gets a goal 32 seconds in. And Montreal, just over a minute later, gets an equalizer through Arbor Xhekaj, who has his first career playoff goal. Play restarts immediately. Buffalo wins the face-off. What kind of game are we going to have here tonight? Puck goes into the Buffalo zone. Dahlin out of the far corner blew a tire as Slafkovsky bounded up into him. Thompson picks up the puck off the near wall and was able to pop fly it through center. Knocked down by a hand. It's loose on the near red line. Poked into the Buffalo zone by Cole Caulfield. Matthias Samuelsson was the first one to it. He took a hit. Bounced it to the far wall where Josh Norris slapped it out to center. Intercepted to the red line. Caulfield takes it over the line into the near corner. Backhands it along the dasher to the far wall. Alex Tuck gave it up there. Slafkovsky feeds the high slot. Quick shot taken by Suzuki. Missed the net wide to the left of Lyon. Tuck onto the loose puck out to center. Makes a couple of moves. Swims his way to the right circle where a shot was blocked by Hudson. He got it back and sent it along the boards. And it misses the point man and comes back out to center. So a reset for Buffalo as Doan will take it behind the net. Montreal on the forecheck, being aggressive here. Kirby Dach runs into Owen Power below the goal line. Power just has to anxiously flip it up the far boards and hope it gets out. It does, and Montreal will restart at center. Hudson, a diagonal feed, got intercepted. It was thrown from the red line in on Dobush, who had to play it away to his right, so no icing. And here come the Canadiens. Hudson, left wing over red over blue. Stashed down the near wall towards the corner. Hudson threw it out in front. Could not be flagged down by Philip Deneau, who does get to it and play it low to high, where Caden Gooley loses it. And the other way comes Buffalo, and on the rush, a shot taken by Jack Quinn. Hit a stick. Karam to the left point. Samuelson trying to turn down the far wall, got stood up by Deneau, who was able to knock it out to center. A reset for Buffalo. Timmins diagonals it through center. Did not hit a stick, or maybe it did. Yes, no icing. Montreal has to play it out to center. Deneau turns it over. Here come the Sabres again. Hacking at it was Quinn, just over the line. He lost it. Out to center, Josh Anderson from Montreal takes it into the Buffalo zone out of the far corner. Samuelson punches him into the boards as the puck comes free towards the corner. It's thrown out in front. Deneau fishing for it and whacked it through the blue paint and wide of Lyon to his right. Sabres will get out to center, and with space, Helenas to the right circle, and his shot whistles wide on the glove side of Dobush. Karam's out to center where Jack Quinn could flatten it in one more time. Sabres scored on their first shot on goal of the game. So did Montreal. And we're at 1-1 here. Not even 5 minutes in. Alexandre Carrier waits behind the net. Now outlets to his right, and here comes Montreal. And it's stripped at the blue line from Evans by Jordan Greenway with a good defensive stick. Dobush had to pop to it and play it out to center himself. All the way to the near corner for it goes Demidov. He has it taken away, and the Sabres look to establish a breakout, and they do. Greenway over the line of the right wing, turns and plays it back on a drop for Krebs, who got it to the right circle, where Beck Mallenstein's shot is smothered and held by Dobush for a whistle. Lindy Ruff is the 65-year-old head coach of the Buffalo Sabres from Warburg, Alberta. Of course, was the longtime Sabres head coach from 1997 to 2013. Before he spent time in both Dallas and New Jersey before making the return to Buffalo. And for Montreal, Stanley Cup champion winning player with Tampa Bay in 2004, Martin St. Louis from Laval, Quebec. In his fifth year as the Canadiens bench boss, has an 8-9 playoff record as a head coach. Face off to the left of Dobush. Out of the near circle, Buffalo able to control the draw. Thompson from the near half wall sent a shot in that missed the net well wide to the left of Dobush. Byram cycled it back along the boards. Out of the near corner, the puck is free. Pie slice to the left of Dobush. Montreal trying to get it out. They do. Flared to the near red line. First to it, Josh Norris. Flexed it back over the Montreal line. Thompson carries wide of the dot on the right circle. Centering feed right out in front, and what a chance! Stopped by Dobush by a crashing in Josh Norris. And then the puck, no one knew where it was for a moment, but Dobush has it. And play is stopped. Norris was crashing down the slot, and what an opportunity he had. And Dobush, who had a very leaky start to Game 5, but Martin St. Louis did not choose to take him out. Kept his confidence in the 24-year-old netminder in Game 5, and a good stop here by Dobush after he allowed the first shot that he's seen to get past him in the first minute of the game. What an electrifying series this has been, and it has stayed that way. Face off to the left of Dobush. Ryan McLeod kicked out. Alex Tuck will now face off against Montreal's Nick Suzuki. The Canadian captain wins the face-off, and the puck out to center. Slavkovsky tried to poke it in deep. It bounced off a stick and went into the air. Canadiens control, but they throw it away in neutral territory as it goes into the Buffalo zone. Tuck deals it along the near wall. Dahlin cycled it back to the far dasher. Doan breaks out to center. Far red line now over blue. Doan skates into the slot with a shot kicked out by Dobish. Rebound to the left circle. It's free. Thrown back towards the net front. Doan couldn't collect it. Suzuki does and breaks it out to center up the near wing. Caden Gooley over the line. Lost the handle. Was able to dribble it back to Suzuki. From the left circle, helped onto the back. Crashing in towards the goal line comes Zach Bolduc, who left it in the trapezoid. Ryan McLeod gets to it there. McLeod will skate it out and now hit the brakes in his own zone as both teams will change. Shots on goal earlier, 4-1 Buffalo. 6.5 minutes in, we're tied at 1. Helenius through center, up the near red line. He'll dump it in deep. Along the far corner boards, it's broken out by Lane Hudson. Thrown through center by Zach Bolduc. Over the line, could not be handled by a Canadian stick. Instead, it's Owen Power for Buffalo, and the Sabres from our left to our right will break out again. Power helped it over the line. Quinn moving into the right circle. Tried a shot in tight that was blocked by Kirby Dock. Mike Matheson gets to the loose puck and carries out to center. Lugged over the red line and then tried to harpoon a pass up the middle for Bolduc. It went off his stick. Sabres were able to clear. Back into the Montreal zone to our right. Red sweaters for the Canadiens, as always, with their iconic blue stripe that goes horizontally across the sweater with white numbers. It's shot in deep by Alex Newhook, who is red hot in this series. Back around this way, Arbor Xhekaj poked it along towards the near corner. Demidov tried to cycle one of the middle. Greenway got a stick to it. Tries to clear for Buffalo and does. Played it neatly ahead to Peyton Krebs, who took it over the line up the middle, then got swarmed and lost it. Out to center, the Canadiens dump it back into the Buffalo zone, and the Sabres are on it once again. And play is stopped as someone lost their lid, and we might have a penalty coming up here. That's Newhook, who ended up without a helmet, and perhaps a penalty coming up here. Just shy of the 8-minute mark, the linesmen have gotten together at the red line. And let's hear the verdict here.
Buffalo penalty 19, 2 minutes roughing.
And it's a roughing call against Peyton Krebs that will send Montreal to the power play for the first time. So Krebs got tangled up with Newhook. Those two pushing and shoving on one another. And Krebs is the one that gets called for roughing. What a start to game number 6. Here in Montreal, the Canadiens and the Sabres tied at 1. Well, we talked about this series has been wild. And what a wild start to this game. JT behind the scenes watching 27 different things, and JT, I bet you've never seen a hockey game with a start like that. My goodness.
That was an insane start. And yes, Matthew, a little bit of an exaggeration, but I am watching I'm watching 13 different screens, and it includes the Nürburgring 24 hours on 10 of them. Wait, no, 9 of them. I can count. And then it has Banana Ball on the 3 of them, and then the hockey on 1 of them. Matthew.
Yeah.
If you look at the Banana Ball screen, and on the top left of the Banana Ball screen, look who's in the booth.
Uh-oh. Hold on. There's so many screens. Okay, who is in the booth?
They have just removed the graphic. Incredible. I will send it to Twitter. There you go.
Oh, jeez. Got a power play. Oh, my goodness, it's Pat McAfee. Jesus, of course it is. Power play coming up for the Canadiens. A power play that in the playoffs is clicking at 23% in the regular season. That's where it was. 23%, that ranked 10th in the league. Face-off controlled by Buffalo in the defensive zone, and they're able to clear it all the way down from our left to our right to kill some time early. They're 6 for 22 on the power play in this series. Montreal, they've got 5 power play markers in the last 3 games. Over the line, Suzuki, a drop for Hudson. Directs it to the right circle, Demidov. Back up top, Hudson, and onto the left circle, Slavkovsky. Feeds the goal line, Caulfield, low to high, Hudson across, Demidov, a drive, he scores! It's another power play strike! Demidov delivers Montreal the lead! Hold on to the roof! This place is about to blow wide open! Ivan Demidov with a snipe! And Montreal with the lead! Goodness! His point streak goes to 4. It's his second career playoff goal. Buffalo wins the face-off to restart play. And they punch it into the Montreal zone to our right. Behind Dobish it goes, out of the near corner. Norris twisting his way to the circle, cuts to the slot, and then had it poked away, and we've got a delayed penalty coming up. It's against Montreal, and play is stopped as the Canadiens touch up, and now Buffalo's going to go to the man advantage, just like that.
Montreal penalty, 24. 2 minutes, hooking.
It's a hooking call on Philip Deneau. This series is as crazy as it gets. Deneau got Norris on the arm. Well, yeah, basically on the wrist, if anything. So Buffalo to the power play now. It was an abysmal power play in their first round series against Boston. Has gotten better in this series. They're 6 for 42 in the playoffs. That's 14%. Against a Montreal kill that's been fairly leaky in the postseason. Sabres win the draw. Dahlin traps it at the line left point. Sent it this way. Quinn to the circle and down to the goal line. Benson at the side of the goal. Scans for options. Throws to the middle. Thompson wedges a shot wide. Benson on the rebound. Lost an edge. Quinn holds the puck in. Feeds the line. Dahlin. Long wrister tipped over the top of the high glass behind Dobish and into the netting out of play for a whistle. Hardly a chance to catch your breath to start this game, and that's how the series has been. Face-off coming to the left of Dobish. Jake Evans and Tage Thompson on the face-off. Thompson wins it, and it was brushed back to the point. Dahlin tossed it to the left circle. Tage Thompson, the gold medalist from Milan. High to low for Doan, and then back for Thompson, and the shot knocked down in front. Benson on the rebound, could not secure, and Montreal clears. All the way down to Lyon. Sabres on the power play, as I mentioned, has gotten better in this series. 5 for 18 in the series after they were just downright terrible in their first round series against Boston. Over the line of the left wing, Doan on the wall to the corner. Thompson tried to toss it back for Benson. Went off of a couple of sticks, and it's taken behind the net by Anderson, who backhands it up and out halfway through the penalty time. All the way down to Lyon, who protects it in the corner to his right. Dahlin takes it there, and up he comes through center. Hands it off for Tuck. Over the line of the right wing. Quinn out in front. Dahlin, a shot stopped by Dobish. And the rebound scrambled out to center. And there might be a penalty coming up here as play is stopped again. And let's see what we're going to get. As there was definite contact between Dobish and Dahlin, with Dahlin diving in. And Montreal fans certainly seem to think that this is a Buffalo penalty. Let's listen.
Dahlin's been penalized a lot, particularly lately. And while Buffalo hasn't been getting the big saves, Dobish.
Montreal penalty, 75 and 2 minutes was last.
So you got an unsportsmanlike on Dahlin, but you've also got a slashing call against Dobish that the Montreal fans didn't think was coming. Oh, yeah. Dobish took a big whack at Dahlin with his stick. Temperatures are pretty heated here. As now Newhook joins Deneau in the penalty box for Montreal. As Newhook will serve the penalty committed by the netminder Dobush. Linesmen are with the scorers trying to make sure that everything is correct with the clock and with who's in the penalty box here. Right now, the Buffalo's not going to have a two-man advantage. So they got to get that rectified at the table. Not even halfway through this period, and we've had a game's worth of action. So it still will be a Buffalo power play. Roughing call on Dahlin, slashing on Dobush. So Buffalo's got 41 seconds left on the man advantage, and we're back underway with Buffalo winning a defensive zone draw. Bowen Byram will skate it out to center, drifts to his left at the red line. He drops it off. McLeod gaining steam through center, gets to the left circle, had to go wide around Matheson. That took him to the boards, and he got tied up, and the Canadiens are away short-handed. Far wing gets Evans over the line of the right circle. A shot, score! A short-handed goal by Jake Evans! The Montreal lead grows! Hang on to the roof again! And they might be about to pull Alex Lyon. Looks like they are. Lindy Ruff is making a goaltending change. Lyon is going to be yanked in the first period of this game. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen will come on as Lyon has allowed 3 to get behind him. Jake Evans gets the shorthanded goal, his second of the series, his second of the playoffs, and this place is a frenzy. Right now, it is 3-1. Face-off to restart play, controlled by Montreal. Puck into the Buffalo zone. Byram back to get it. Penalty time just about out. Power at dead center. A drop for Thompson over the line. A shot off of Dobush. He didn't know where it was. And the rebound taken care of and cleared all the way down the ice. And play is stopped after the rebound was cleared. So Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, UPL, is in for Buffalo in goal for Lindy Ruff as the hook was out early on Alex Lyon. Now he gave up 5 goals in Game 5 of this series on just 23 shots, did Luukkonen. He's 2-2 in the postseason. The goals against has been really high at 420. In the regular season, he went 22, 9, and 3. Did the 27-year-old goaltender from Finland. We've got a break in the action, and maybe that'll help Buffalo settle down and maybe help Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen as he was brought in immediately. Stoppage on the ice. It is 3-1 Montreal, and JT, this is... How do you describe this?
This is insane. As we have the juggler for the Indianapolis Clowns messing up with his tricks in front of thousands of people at the field and tens of thousands of people watching online. Nice one. This is an insane start to the game. Watch out, Max Verstappen. Oh.
Sounds like Verstappen's been going through it.
I will set. Why is the field side reporter getting a shave. Okay, I'm not gonna question it. I will send you a video of what happened earlier on Instagram to Max Verstappen. There you go.
This is at the Nürburgring, and goodness gracious, wow.
And you know how I mentioned how he got airborne? There is that clip of him getting airborne.
Good Lord. Okay. He is really going through it. Play about to restart. Offensive zone face-off for Buffalo to the right of Dobish. Canadiens control. Hudson out of the far corner. Got it to the stick of Noah Dobson, who slaps it out to center. It deflects off a stick all the way down to Luukkonen, forced to play it. Paddled it around the far boards, turned over. Dobson shoots in deep behind the net. First to it is Power. He gets forechecked into by Slafkovsky. Power out of the pie slice to the right of Luukkonen. Played it up the near wall, and Alex Tuck was able to cue ball it out. Puck is available at the red line. Canadiens are back in it. Parachuted into the Buffalo zone, near corner to the right of Luukkonen. Power is on it again. Montreal has scored 3 goals on 3 shots on goal. Sabres scored on their first shot on goal of the game, as we've got a board battle to the right of Dobish out of the corner. Canadiens come up with it. Matheson backhands it up the far boards. Bolduc could not clear it. Sabres hold it in. Thompson poked it to the left circle. It came into the middle, and it bounced through traffic to the right point, and a shot by Timmins thrown to the front, hit a leg, and the Canadiens can clear all the way down to the right of Luukkonen, and play is stopped because behind the play, Norris is down. And I wonder if he was the one that got hit with the puck. Wow. He's got blood coming out of his lower lip from the looks of it. Does Josh Norris. And linesmen are getting together and talking amongst each other again here.
Opportunity here for Buffalo.
Oh yeah, it's a high sticking call here going against Montreal. Oh, yeah, Matheson came in and gave Norris a shoulder, and as he did, his stick got him up high, and because there was blood coming from the mouth of Norris, this will be a double minor and a 4-minute power play coming up for Buffalo to try to cut into this deficit. Face-off will come to the right of Dobish. 4-minute power play for the Sabres. Face-off controlled by Montreal. Behind the net, Gooley whacked it around the near boards. Helenius came flying in, or make that Doan to run into Slafkovsky, who's still able to get it up the near wall and out. All the way down to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who's in this first period after Alex Lyon gave up 3 goals on 3 shots. Through center, Bowen Byram reaches the red line, drops it off for Tage Thompson, who's got a runway through center. Touched onto the right wing, Benson over the line, Quinn. Quinn crashes in and cycles it in deep. Thompson waiting for it in the far corner. Flexed it in below the goal line. Benson out in front. Doan lost the handle. Cleared to the line, not out. Byram from the high slot drifts out to his right on the perimeter. Bowen Byram to the right circle. Quinn all the way across. Thompson, a shot seen away by Dobish. Rebound free to the far corner. Thompson got to it to hold the zone and poked it onto the left point. Byram sent it down the slot. It went off a stick, and it's collected and cleared by Montreal's Joe Veleno. All the way down to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Bowen Byram comes to pick it up. A quarter of the way through the 4-minute power play. Byram gets to the red line and turns it back for McLeod, who shifts gears through center. Touched over the line of the right wing for Tuck. Tried for a low to high play that hit a stick. Byram picked it up. A bouncing puck to Zucker on the far half wall. Back to the line for Byram again. He'll walk the line left to right. Holds. Hands it off. Norris to the goal line. Tuck flexed it on back. Norris has it once again on the perimeter. Looks to the net. Shoots one. Saved by Dobish. Rebound free. Off the near wall. Philip Deneau takes care of it. Clears it all the way down. 2.5 left on this Buffalo power play. They trail by a pair here in this first period. Owen Power starts the pilgrimage back up ice. Right wing to the red line. Again, a big drop for McLeod, who will gain steam through center. Was able to deke his way around one Canadian to the right circle. Back up top, Power, now Zucker. Rink wide for McLeod, skate to stick. His shot kicked out by Dobish. Rebound to the far wall. Zucker touched it onto the line. Power could not seal the zone. Montreal gets a partial change. Power through center, up the middle over the line. Feeds Tuck crashing in through the trapezoid. Alex Tuck comes out of the left circle and plays it up high. Quinn from the left point down the barrier. Tried to spin one to the circle, he does. Norris to the front, Zucker a shot, he scores! Jason Zucker on the doorstep! Capitalizes on the power play and gets Buffalo within one. A 5-goal first period in game number 6, and there's still 6 minutes left. 34-year-old veteran Jason Zucker. A goal in 2 straight now for Zucker. His 11th career playoff goal. And it's 3-2. Beautiful setup into the net front, and Zucker has made this a 1-goal game again. Face off to restart play, controlled by Montreal. Between the benches, it's played on bat for Matheson. Directed up the left wing, it went off the stick of Kapanen and in deep. Behind the net, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen left it there. Dahlin swept it along the far boards, deflects out to center, Thompson over the line. On the far half wall, takes a hit, puck bounces around, and the Canadiens clear, and with space up the right wing, Josh Anderson was able to paddle it in. Matthias Samuelsson, the first one to it out of the far corner, was able to roll it up and out. Sabres bring it back the other way. Over the line and up the middle, Zach Benson had it knocked away by Matheson, who picks up the loose change behind the net. Tossed into the near corner to the left of Dobish, taken there by Suzuki, the Canadian captain. Buffalo outshooting Montreal 10-4 through the first 15 minutes of this game, but where it counts, the Canadiens, a 3-2 lead. Through center, across corner, dump in from the near red line by Texier. Demidov, who had a power play marker earlier for Montreal, the first to it. He and Texier played catch before it was played back to the point. D-to-D pass for Hudson. He just held it over the line, got it to Demidov, wedged to the right circle, and now Demidov again makes a move into the slot. Now has to refix the visor on his helmet. He twirls out towards the left point, sends it down the near wall, losing the handle. Hudson, Newhook to the front. Oh, and Demidov with a lot of net to shoot at, missed it wide. Takes it out of the far corner, bounces it back to the right point. It gets to the line. Dobson held it in, chopped it to the near wall. Puck in the air, bouncing around. Timmins tried to glove it down. Newhook held it in. Demidov again. Now Newhook out of the right circle, hands it off. Demidov to the line, and it could not be sealed by Dobson, who has to backpedal out to center. Buffalo gets a partial change in as Montreal had been in the zone for nearly a minute. Puck in the air. Helenius could not paw it down. Kirby Dach comes away with it, pins it to the slot, pinching it out of the left circle. A shot taken by Bolduc, blocked. Dach on the rebound, swings it towards the net, looking for a tip, not available. Now back into the blue paint, and a shot right on! And that just missed the net wide from Bolduc, as it was just to the glove side of Luukkonen. Now towards the slot, another shot taken by Gooley, hit a skate blade. Comes to the far corner off a ricochet, and the Sabres are on it, and finally they're able to clear at long last with Zach Metza. Canadiens will reclaim at their own end from the near red line. It's wound in by Arbor Xhekaj. Out of the far corner, Beck Malenstein played it behind the goal. Here comes Buffalo, looking to establish a breakout. A stretch feed, blue to blue, taken over the line of the left wing. Malenstein turned, had it stripped by Hudson. Taken in back behind the net by Xhekaj, in back of Dobish, and now up the far wall. They'll try to break out, nearly taken away, however, by Greenway, who is able to punch it back into the Canadian zone. Hudson stretches it out over the line. Deneau drifts to the right circle, broken up by Benson from the near red line. Hudson over the line of the left wing. He'll paddle it in deep. First to it out of the near corner, Matthias Samuelsson. Samuelsson clips it up the near wall. Hudson held it in momentarily, but now it's out to center, and Thompson brings it up 2-on-2. Dribbles his way to the right circle with it, and play is stopped as Norris is jockeying back and forth with a Canadian in center. And we've got another penalty coming, I think. My goodness.
Interference or a trip or something. but it'll be 4-on-4 when we come back.
Hudson pleading his case, but
well, we're not going to get the verdict, but it does sound like it's going to be dueling penalties here, and it's going to go 4-on-4. What a start to this hockey game. 2:43 to go in the first period, and it's 3-2. Montreal, a 5-goal opening period, a landslide of scoring. Wow. This has been one of the more entertaining playoff series that we have seen in quite some time. And it has leaked over to the start of this Game 6. Again, Montreal with a win tonight clinches a spot in the Eastern Conference Final to take on Carolina. If Buffalo wins tonight, these two will meet up Monday night in Western New York for a Game 7. And boy, a Game 7 in Buffalo would be quite the atmosphere, because there'd be a lot of Canadian fans there along with all the Sabre faithful. But Buffalo's got to earn a Game 7 ticket tonight. And the Western Conference Final has already been set and will start next week between the Colorado Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 1 of that Western Conference Final Series will be Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time in Denver, with the Golden Knights and the Avs. So 4-on-4 will play here from the sounds of it. It was Hudson and Norris that got tangled. So 4 skaters aside, so as crazy as this period's already been, now we're giving these teams some open ice. Scored 5 goals already, and now 4-on-4 will play here for a couple of minutes as we wind down this first period. Again, Montreal scored on each of their first 3 shots on goal. That's what made Lindy Ruff pull Alex Lyon, and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is in for the Sabres. We'll have a neutral zone face-off near dot in front of the penalty box doors. It'll be Suzuki and McLeod on the face-off. Funny how Montreal only has 4 shots on goal for the entire period so far. Remember that Game 7 against Tampa Bay, they won with just 9 shots on goal for the entire game. But 1 on the road at Amalie Arena. Apparently there is... Well, now we got Helenius heading to the penalty box for Buffalo. That's interesting. Nonetheless, 4-on-4, and play will restart as Montreal controls the face-off. It's played back in their defensive zone to our right. Noah Dobson back to claim, and he'll work his way out to center. Feeds the right wing. It was too far for Anderson to collect cleanly, and the Sabres will take over behind the net behind Luukkonen. Matthias Samuelsson looks to establish a breakout, a drop for Ryan McLeod, who's got great speed, and he's got a runway through center. Zigzags his way over the line, pushes into the right circle, shot by Quinn, and he missed the far post, and it caroms off the corner boards out to center. Samuelsson back to reclaim possession for Buffalo as we approach the final 2 minutes of the period. Samuelsson plays it indirectly off the boards behind the net to be brought back up by Rasmus Dahlin. Over the line, flex to the right wing. Quinn crashes in deep to the corner. Quinn reverses, comes back to the perimeter, now at the line. He'll voluntarily take it out to center with Matheson pressuring. Dropped back by Quinn in the Buffalo defensive zone for Dahlin, and he's more than happy to work some clock as he's behind the net. Now pushes it along to his left for Owen Power, the former number 1 overall pick out of the University of Michigan. He's over the Montreal line of the right wing, sends it below the goal line for Thompson. He got tangled up in the trapezoid by Alexandre Carrier. Puck to the far corner boards, hit off the glass, and the Canadiens have it. Look to clear out. Along the inboards, it's played this way for Matheson. He'll take his time before he feels some pressure from Tuck, before he leaves it in the far wall. Tuck on the forecheck nearly created a takeaway. It bounces to the stick of Owens, who had the shorthanded goal earlier for Montreal. He'll twig it back behind the cage for Matheson. Final minute of the first period. Now Slavkovsky through center makes a cut left to right. He's over the line up the middle. He's outmanned 2-on-4. He'll voluntarily bring it out to center himself. So all that open ice, and really neither team did a lot of attacking with it. Now it's 5 skaters aside again, and a big bump at center. Slavkovsky went down. Sabres with possession of the puck. Over the Montreal line went Benson into traffic. He lost it, and Montreal might have an odd man rush the other way. Skipped along for Hudson to the left circle. Crashes in and tried to spindle one towards the slot that did not get to a Canadian stick. It caroms along to the left circle. Hudson into the slot for Slavkovsky off a stick, and it went airborne to the far corner, and Buffalo's on it in the defensive zone with Power with 12 to go in the period. Power will patiently wait, and it doesn't look like he's going to try much of an outlet with 6 seconds and 5 to go in the period. Now he will outlet through center, but not a lot of time for Buffalo to get up ice. Up the left wing boards, Krebs hit the brakes, and that ends the period. And a wild first period, very fitting of the wild series that we have had to this point. 1 period in the books in game number 6. Montreal leads Buffalo 3-2. Despite only having 4 shots on goal, they've scored on 3 of them. They've driven Alex Lyon out of the game. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is in goal for Buffalo. The Sabres, who scored 32 seconds in, had the lead, quickly found themselves down 3-1, got a power play goal with Jason Zucker, and it's a 1-goal difference as we go to the dressing room for the first intermission. We've all got to catch our breath after that. We will do that during this first intermission. My goodness, JT, that was an experience.
Well, that was the first power play penalty that I had to do that was more than 2 minutes. That was the past 2 games I have scoreboarded combined in the first period with how much happened. And everything's okay. Everything's calm. Why is that camera frozen? That's not my issue. Awesome. You can see on your screen now on the top left of one of the screens, you can see a summary of what's happened in the 24 hours of Nürburgring, if you so want to know, Matthew.
We've got a quad screen of Banana Ball, which includes Nürburgring, I think, on one. Then we've got a quad screen. How much can you keep up with?
More. This is yeah, a lot, but it is what it is. It's quite nice because all of these onboards are synced with the live feed. So if something is happening on the main feed and you want a different view of it, you can just look over. Oh, 81, look out. We need a rewind on that.
By the way, in the comment section, Raymond Joss, I think that is, hope I'm saying that correctly, says, "Go Sabres." They've got a little bit of work to do. Glad to have you with us.
Matthew, can you see the screen with the driver tracker on?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why it reset, so I will have to try and find it again. Here. It got a little bit sketchy up here on the top right somewhere. Please, if you can stop buffering, that would be incredible, please.
Well, I mean, you're watching 27 things, of course it's going to buffer.
Hold on, let me open it up on YouTube.
What goes on at the Nürburgring? It feels like there's been... Oh, my goodness.
Yep, Matthew, that is a service vehicle on the track.
It sure is.
Yep.
Feels like every time I see something on Twitter in this race, something stupid's happening.
This was close. This was very close to the 81 BMW. Onto the grass.
Oh, God.
And here we go again. Oh, this is going to be tight. Are we going to go 3 wide?
No, I think we are. He's going to thread the needle.
We're 3 wide down the front straight, and he backs out.
Yeah, he backed out way back there. I wonder if there was a yellow.
There is a yellow.
There it is. I was going to say,
Yeah.
he backed way out of there.
Never mind, there is a code 60. So it's... So you have a single waved yellow, which is prepare for a speed limit. You have a double waved yellow, which is a speed limit of 120 kilometers an hour. And then after a double yellow, if required, you have a code 60, which is a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour. And it is effectively a slow zone. What? Okay, someone is circling their t-shirt above their head.
I'm going to play our favorite game here for a few moments of JT Waffles during intermission. Just
the 632, the car that was being driven by Jimmy Broadbent before he came into the pit. So I don't know if Jimmy Broadbent was in the car, but it came straight out of the pits and binned it in turn 1. That's the reason for the code 60.
When you said 623, I thought you meant that was a play in the banana ball game. What would that be? That'd be the third baseman to the catcher to the first baseman. Anyway. Do you know, that's an interesting question. Brings up an interesting question, JT. You've been watching all this banana ball. Do they keep score like a normal baseball game would? Like is there a 6-4-3 double play?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can show you the box score that they have for Banana Ball.
Because, so of course, when you do a baseball game, a lot of people will keep score. If they're at a game, the broadcasters will keep their score in their scorebook. Like, if there's a ground ball to the shortstop, and they throw to second, and then the second baseman throws to first for a double play, it's 6-4-3. Because the shortstop is the 6, second baseman's the 4, first baseman's the 3. The outfielders are 7, 8, 9. Pitcher is the 1, catcher is the 2. Third is 5, second is 4, first is 3.
You're just saying a lot of numbers right now. Here's the Banana Ball stat screen, if that makes any sense to you.
Okay, let me click onto that then. Okay, so yeah, that's like a normal box score. Okay, very good. Okay, when I come back after this newest edition of JT Waffles, we got to get a baseball scorebook to you. But I'll JT Waffles for a few moments here, ladies and
Max is staffing up the inside of turn 1. Oh boy. Enjoy Nürburgring related JT Waffles segment for the Nürburgring 24 hours. I can confirm that it was not Jimmy Broadbent in the 632 when he binned it at turn 1. It was Steve Brown who had a driver change. So Jimmy Broadbent is not guilty. 81 having a car cut right across him as he tried to overtake. I think it's all calm. I don't know. 88 is on its own. Max Verstappen's on his own. Never mind, the 88's just got overtaken in some spectacular style. With 11 hours and 51 minutes left, we are over halfway through this Nürburgring 24 hours. Top of the 9th between the Coconuts and the Bananas. It is live on the CW on national television. Coconuts currently lead 3-2, Bananas 2. What an incredible TV schedule for the CW today. NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live from Dover, instantly followed by Banana Ball live from Savannah, Georgia. As the 81 gonna go rounding outside to try and overtake a car on the edge of the track. And now the 80, no relation between the 81 and the 81. One's a Mercedes, one's a BMW. Two different teams. That's close. Max Verstappen is flashing his lights like there's no tomorrow. As it is 10 past 2 in the morning over here in the UK. That means it's 10 past 3 over there in Nürburgring. As the 632 has returned to the circuit at the gravel trap of turn 1. Ball force sprint for the tailgaters. He will pause at first base. Firefighters defense doing well on that B4S. Oh, the 81. Oh, the 81 and the 80 very nearly both wrecking it at the exact same time. Both had a car that moved just as they were passing them. Live from the Nürburgring Control Center here in JT's studio. Oh, and the 632's in the barrier again. I've just looked down and the 632 has found the barrier once again. Let's do an instant replay. If it will allow me. That's not been a good lap for Steve Brown.
Now it's you that's just saying numbers.
Yeah, the 632's found a barrier for the second time on this lap. I'm trying to see what happened. Matthew, it is on the banana ball screen. Talk us through it.
Okay, here we go.
Bottom left on the banana ball screen.
Yes. Oh boy, that just went straight on. Oh wow, pow.
I have done that in Assetto Corsa.
Haven't we all?
But that means that now that car is crashed, it means the onboard gets turned off because they're not on the track, they're not circulating, which means it's time to go onto the YouTube page and get another onboard to replace it. As they're showing the replay of that crash now on the 24-hour main feed. Okay. Look at how many live streams there are.
Good gracious.
1, 2, 3, 7, 11, not at the shop, 15, 9. There's 19 live streams on the official page itself, followed by all of the live streams from the manufacturers, followed by all of the other live stream partners. There's 112,000 people watching the German stream and 116,000 people watching the British stream. Bear in mind, it's currently 2:13 in the morning in the UK and 3:13 in the morning over in Germany, and there's still over 220,000 people watching.
I am feverishly searching through my Instagram, JT. And you know, I'm never on Instagram. But I'm searching through it to try to find a picture from my baseball scorecard to show you. Because okay, here's a good one. From when I was doing a softball tournament in Tennessee.
Do I need to go on the Instagram?
You know, that I suppose... I just took a screenshot and sent it through you on Twitter. I could have just sent it. through Instagram. See, I'm never on
So,
Instagram, so I'm not Instagram smart.
hold on. So you're telling me, as I incorrectly put the thing in, you're telling me that you took a screenshot on the Instagram
Right.
and you sent it on the Twitter.
That's right. Can't be that shocking, really, could it?
That means nothing to me. That really means nothing
So
to
they
me.
don't. So they don't do that over there in the banana ball. So
I assume not.
okay. So this is how you score a game. So if you look at the very top of that, the leadoff hitter, F8. That means she flew out to center. Then the second batter made it to first via a single. Then two more flyouts. Then that's in the first inning. So then we move to the second inning. That's why it moves, lines on the page. They went down 1, 2, 3, and that's how you score a baseball game.
They might do that up in the booth, but I've not seen any of that from Banana Ball. No. Oh my God, the 80 has once again attempted suicide on this lap.
It's so interesting to go back and find that on the Instagram. I had to go back to my pictures from 2021, and also in 2021 is when I went to Indianapolis and took a picture of the Borg Warner Trophy, the greatest trophy in all of sports. I know we're doing a hockey broadcast, and a lot of hockey people would say Stanley Cup, but Borg Warner Trophy is indeed the greatest trophy in all of sports.
And while we are talking about that, I did notice your message saying I did something I never do and took a nap for about 45 minutes, and I've been awake for about 30 minutes. That was 7:55 p.m. Eastern. You sent that to me.
That's right.
And now I can tell you why you had to take a nap. It was because you were bored that there was no Indianapolis 500 qualifying today, so you had to waste some time. And of course, the first time that we've lost a full qualifying day at Indianapolis since 2008, and just then, Matthew, I would have been just over -2 months old.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Thank you for that.
You are welcome. As we get this is what I love about having so many cameras, is on the main feed screen, the one with the one in the top left with the main feed with all of the graphics. You have them working on the car in the top left, and then you have the onboard of that car in the bottom left. And yes, the onboard is frozen because it doesn't work when they're working on the car for some reason. But it's a cool thing being able to see the two together when they do actually work. How long have we got? Do we know?
Not very long. It has to be coming to the final moments here.
Should I get the clock back up on the scoreboard ready then? That might be a good idea. As
Oh yeah,
press that button.
just coming back from break. Look at that.
Awesome. This is going to be a high-scoring game because, well, it is already a high-scoring game. The 67 car going round the outside up a uphill left-hander blind corner. Yikes. Ah, yes. Matthew, look at the main feed and look at the onboard. You can see them both working on the car, doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, 2 different angles. This is why I like having so many onboard cameras.
So you can just see the same thing twice. Of course.
But you get to see stuff they don't show on the main feed. And also in the bottom right of that, you have barrier works with a massive lorry on the track. Yes, they have an 18-wheeler with a massive trailer on the back of it going around the circuit repairing barriers. I'm going to shut up because we've got a second period.
Yeah, my Spotify is trying to open for some reason. Second period is underway. Montreal wins the face-off. It's Texier who paddles the puck into the Buffalo zone to our right. In the corner, far side to the right of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Puck free to the far boards, and it bounces back to the line and out. And in neutral territory, it's taken by Norris, right wing over the line. Tried to toss one into the slot. Thompson was setting up. Montreal got to stick to it. It's cleared all the way down. No icing as Luukkonen has to play it behind the net because closing in on it was Texier. Through center and back the other way. Benson crashes into the net, and he tried to push it on goal and tied to the blue paint. Dobish got a piece of it with his left pad. Loose puck in the far corner. Norris tossed it rink wide to the left point. Byram down the near wall to the circle. Zach Benson holds it there. Turns it back to the line. McLeod back for Benson again. Hands it off on the right circle for Bowen Byram. Sends a shot towards the net. Stopped to the rebound. Loose. They score! Zach Benson jams it in as the rebound got behind Dobish, and Buffalo has tied the game. Well, they scored 32 seconds into the first period. They score 60 seconds into the second period. Byram shot from the high slot, got underneath Dobish, through his legs, but it was going wide of goal to his right, but Dobish could not backpedal and find the loose puck. Zach Benson, who was in the trapezoid, did, and backhanded it behind Dobish and into the yawning cage, and we are tied 3-3. Second of the series for Benson as play restarts, and Buffalo brings it through center ice. Tossed into the Montreal zone by Alex Tuck. Puck tumbles towards the far wall. Cole Caulfield could not dig it free. Byram out of the far corner to the front, a power move, and he tried to jam it in through the blue paint. Dobish kept it out. Out of the near corner, puck is available. Up the wall to the left point, Byram. A low to high play to the left circle. McLeod winds his way back out to the perimeter. On the far right circle, McLeod hits the brakes. Sauced one into the slot, and a shot missed the net wide. Came to the left circle, and a drive by Power. Hit bodies in front of the net. Buffalo holds the zone from the left point. Rolled in deep behind the net. Doan hands it off to the right circle. Low to high for Byram. Byram chips it into the far corner. Power goes after it. Smushed into the corner boards by Noah Dobson. And Montreal has it. Canadian captain Nick Suzuki off the near half wall. Plays it back on a drop to Lane Hudson behind his net. Now he'll sling it through center. Intercepted by Jason Zucker over the line. Helenius to the right circle to the front. Looking for a tip. None available by a crashing in Connor Timmins. Broken back out to center by Jake Evans of Montreal. Board battle in front of the penalty box doors. Puck tumbles back into the Buffalo zone. Evans from the bottom of the right circle hits the brakes. Walks his way back up the wall. Winds it in deep towards the near corner. Sharp angle shot on the short side by Newhook. Stopped and held by Luukkonen, who gets a whistle. Just the sixth shot on net of this game for the Canadiens. Luukkonen up with the stop, and again, the games in this series just continue to have these weird and wild moments, and Buffalo with another early goal in a period. And here we are at 3-3, not yet 23 minutes into the game. Montreal wins an offensive zone face-off from the right circle. It bounced to the stick of Demidov. In the corner, pie slice to the left of Luukkonen. Tried to backhand it in deep below the goal line. It's a board battle. Finally, it's tossed along the dasher to the left point. It's held. Long wrister missed the net wide. A jam off the inboards. Came back to the slot. Luukkonen to stop it. Got behind him. And it scrambled to safety. At least to the line where Gooley was able to knock it back in deep. Out of the right circle, Evans misplayed it. Shackeye from the right point. Sends it down the near wall. Demidov rink wide. Left point long wrister missed the net wide of the stick side of Luukkonen. Evans got to the rebound out of the far corner. Takes it behind the net. Tried to chip one to the front. Demidov backhanded it towards the left point. Played high to low by Alexandre Carrier. From the near corner, it's lifted up and out by a Sabre stick. In front of the penalty box doors, Benson took a tumble as he hit the deck card. Arbor Shackeye with the puck, and Montreal in their defensive zone will restart. Xhekaj, the 25-year-old from Hamilton, Ontario, through center and turned over. Tage Thompson over the line of the slot, a shot right on. Stopped and held by Jakub Dobish. And some pushing and shoving after the whistle between Bolduc and Norris. Not yet 4 minutes into this second period. Tied at 3 in Game 6. As you see, top of your picture, Montreal leads the series 3-2. If they win tonight, they advance to the Eastern Conference Final to play Carolina. If Buffalo wins tonight, they force a Game 7 of this series back in Western New York on Monday night.
And you can also see on the top of your screen, if the clock decides it wants to work, 16 minutes and 17 seconds left.
Face off to the left of Dobish, an offensive zone draw for Buffalo, who ranked last in the regular season in face-off win percentage, 32nd of the 32 teams in the league at less than 46%. Puck is down, and it's a scramble. Bodies hit the deck. Montreal comes away with it. Flex through center. Josh Anderson on the puck. Right wing and over the line. Swims his way to the half wall. Slaps it in deep. Byram intercepted behind the net. Tossed up the near wall. Power. Slapped on out to center. Over the line of the left wing, Zach Benson. Flexed it in back of the goal, and a collision there. Thompson went over the top of Matheson. Was still able to get to his skate blades and get the puck to the near half wall. Power. Now Thompson again. Tried to tap one to the line. It deflected out to center, and Thompson's the first one to it. Plays it in directly off the boards in neutral territory, whacked in deep to the Montreal zone. Matheson gets to it, and there's a whistle, and Matheson pushing and shoving with Benson after said whistle. So amazing. Behind the scenes, of course, JT has his pictures. I have my pictures. We try to sync them up as best as possible. JT talking about seeing two things in two different feeds on his screen at the Nürburgring. That's what I'm getting here. I've got the ESPN ABC feed in front of me, but over on JT has the Sportsnet feed coming from Canada. Got two different feeds of this game. It's quite strange. That's never happened before, at least for me. Sean McDonough and Ray Ferraro on one, Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson on the other. Face off to the left of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Ryan McLeod and Nick Suzuki to take the face-off out of the near right circle. Suzuki wanted it, got caught in the skates of the linesman. Slavkovsky was able to sneak into the pile and take the puck, tried to backhand it up the near wall. It deflected all the way out to Dobish out of his goal crease to play it. He'll swing it violently around to the far corner. Demidov gets to it. Chopped it up the board. Suzuki diagonal through center. Cole Caulfield tried to play it up the left barrier. Could not squeeze it to Slavkovsky, and the Sabres are back the other way. Over the line of the near left wing. McLeod to the slot. A chance! And a stop by Dobish on Tuck, who came screaming in. Got to the rebound, sent it to the right circle. Into the slot. Doan couldn't find the puck that was in his skates. Dahlin from the right point backhands it back in behind the net. From below the goal line, Tuck played it low to high for Doan. It was knocked away by a Montreal stick. It's all the way down into the Buffalo zone to our right. Matthias Samuelsson gets to it, and the Sabres will begin the pilgrimage back up ice from our right to our left. Stretched out by Dahlin over the line on the right wall. A shot taken, stopped by Dobish. Rebound into the slot. Another shot dragged wide of the net by Power. Loose puck to the near half wall. Helenius on the perimeter. His long wrister on a wheel-around shot hit a body. Deflected into the far corner. Zucker low to high to the point. D to D this way. Power from the left point. Walks the line to his right. Tries to stay away from Kirby Dach. Handed it off. Samuelsson a long wrister. Blocked away by Dobish. Rebound side of the goal. Zucker tried to jam it in. That went off the side of the cage. Puck free in the trapezoid. Zucker comes swooping in. It's taken away by Joe Veleno. Former Detroit Red Wing helps it out to center. And it'll be run down in the Buffalo zone by Power. Sabres in white sweaters, royal blue numbers, gold trim. They attack from our right to our left as you listen in this second period. Power will circle on back in his defensive zone. Now he'll stretch it out. Indirectly off the boards all the way down. Did it hit a stick? It did, so no icing. Taken in back of the Montreal goal by Arbor Xhekaj. Buffalo out shooting Montreal 20-7. Xhekaj out to his right for Carrier, who tried to slip it over the line. It was turned over to Benson. Benson was able to knock it in back of the goal. Norris took a heavy hit from Xhekaj, who was fighting for the puck. He got it to the line, not out, held in by Byram, who sets up a one-timer for the right circle, stopped by Dobish. Rebound free and flipped on out to center by the Canadian defense. Run back down by Connor Timmins. Timmins unloads it out to center towards Zach Benson. Deflected off a stick back to Byram in front of the penalty box doors near red line. Evans got tangled up with a Sabre there, but was able to punch it in to the Buffalo zone. Luukkonen, who's made a save on every shot he's seen. All 5 shots he's seen, he has stopped. Plays it out to center. Over the line, Benson took a big shoulder. Evans comes up with a loose puck, left wing over red over blue. Evans is over the line, tossed to the middle, and a chance! Rushing down the slot was Anderson, in tight, stopped by Luukkonen, and play is stopped as we've got a penalty upcoming.
Buffalo penalty, bench minor, too many men on the ice.
And too many Sabres on the ice. Montreal will go to the power play again. Stoppage on the ice. Buffalo scored a minute into the period as Dobish left a rebound behind him. Zach Benson found it and planted it in to tie it at 3, but Montreal's on the power play in a moment. Blink and you miss here at the Bell Center in Montreal. This is
2 banana ball games have ended, Matthew. So you know what that means.
What does that mean?
We got to have 2 more onboards from the Nürburgring 24 hours take their place. I'm going to do a slight change. I'm going to swap the top 2 from my far left screen with the top 2 on the far right screen, which means I have all of the important ones on one screen. If that makes any sense. Because it's annoying having to look backwards and forwards every time. So with that button, followed by that button, followed by that button, we should have changed. Look at that. So now on one screen we have the main feed, Max Verstappen's on board, the driver tracker, and the pit lane camera. That picture is being sent to JB.
You know, we did a game back in towards the end of football season. How many buttons did JT have to press during a football game? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Did we ever do that on basketball or no? Can't remember.
No.
Okay.
I said that it would be too fast to
yeah, that's probably true.
try and keep track of it.
I'm guessing you don't have to press as many buttons in hockey. That's my guess.
The only Stream Deck buttons I press is timeouts and the shots and the clocks, because if I press the scores and the penalty buttons, it doesn't work properly.
I see. Montreal on the power play. Buffalo wins the defensive zone draw and gets it all the way out. Canadiens back on it through center comes Caulfield from the red line, turns and drops for Suzuki. Gains steam over the line. A handoff, Demidov. Played it rink wide. Slavkovsky on the left circle. Shoots one off a stick. Deflected side of the goal. Caulfield trying to find it through traffic. He does. Bottom of the left circle. Shoots one over the top of the cage. Came back wide of the dot on the right circle to Demidov. Slavkovsky wedges it in behind. Suzuki behind the net. Shot puts it into the high slot for Hudson. Directed to the right circle. Demidov to the goal line. Slavkovsky across and through the wickets of his intended target. Hudson for the left point holds it in. Caulfield tried to play it back towards the near wall, but it comes out to center and a reset. Buffalo a partial change. Montreal tries to catch him. Hudson over the line. Swoops into the left circle. Hits the break. Slavkovsky diamonds it back this way. Demidov a pocket pass across off a stick. Deflected to the line. Hudson held it in at the left point. Flexed on bat for Caulfield, and then rolled to Suzuki, and then Caulfield again for the left circle to the slot. Hudson a shot, stopped in front, rebound to the right of Luukkonen, and it was jammed away to the end wall. Demidov played it back to the near corner. Slavkovsky across. That goes off the skate blade of Power, who went flying down to block it. Slavkovsky low to high to the left point. Hudson. About half a minute remaining on the Montreal power play. Hudson turns to his forehand, tried to play it along the line to Demidov. It went off the stick of McLeod and out to center. Hudson a quick re-entry. Rink rink wide Slavkovsky. Finessed onto the left circle, Doc, and taken away. And here comes Buffalo short-handed, killing some time over the line. And peeling back out to center is Tuck. Buffalo should be able to kill off just about the rest of this penalty time here as Tuck misplayed it at the line. Bolduc took it away, but there's only 6 seconds and 5 left on the power play. Doc, right wing over red, shoots over blue, in deep, towards the far corner. Played in back of the goal. Bolduc rolled it back up the near barrier. Pinching in was Dobson to try to swing it in deep. It hit a body in the right circle. Bolduc held the zone. Penalty time is up. Matheson from the left point tried a long wrister that hit the stick of Tuck, and the stick exploded in his hands. Tuck is without a stick. He's in a board battle along with a couple of Canadiens and teammates without a stick, just trying to protect the puck with his skate blades. Finally, it's dug out of the pile, and Buffalo can shoot out to center. Canadiens right back on it. Will turn it out to center. Kirby Doc over the line, right wing to the circle. Shot on the short side, stopped by Luukkonen, took his stick and paddled it to the corner. Doc tried to spatula it back to the line. It caroms on out to center. It's taken by Zucker, swooping it over the line. Benson to the right circle, stop, played it across, and a shot in tight by Quinn. Never made it to Dobush. Benson out of the far corner, low to high. A delayed penalty upcoming against Montreal. Norris steps down the wall, cradle to the line. Thompson lost it to Bolduc, and play will stop, and Buffalo is going to be on a power play here. How quickly things change.
Number 45, minor penalty for interference.
Interference, the call on Alexandra Carrier, of Montreal. Got Alexandra Carrier and Texier on this team. So Buffalo kills off a penalty, and now they'll be on the man advantage as we get a break in the action. Tomorrow on the channel, it will be a busy and perhaps chaotic day.
When is it not?
Well, indeed. We know for sure that tomorrow we will have day 2 of time trials for the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. It might as well just be day 1. Day 1 was today, and not a single lap was turned because of mom nature. So we will have time trials for the 500. Starts at high noon, 12 p.m. Eastern time, is when Scott Dixon will roll that PNC Chip Ganassi Honda out onto the course. Dixon, a 5-time pole winner for the 500. Only Rick Mears has won more. Dixon will go after number 6 tomorrow. He'll be the first car out. And that will just about be an all-day affair. Going to start at noon and go till about 7 p.m. Eastern. We hope to have the NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover for you on the channel at 1 o'clock, but that is up in the air because of the Indianapolis schedule.
Okay, so from the JB Motorsports scheduling control room. We've never ever called it that before, by the way. It's a brand new name that I just thought right there. JBM will have it. We have not decided who's going to be calling it. It sounds like it's going to be a mix of radio and us, depending on what happens in IndyCar with track inspections and everything like that, and cautions if we get anything happening. So Matthew, I hope that you might have to lead some IndyCar stuff, but to be confirmed in the morning. Back to the game.
Buffalo on the power play wins the faceoff. Thompson left circle, a shot kicked out by the right pad of Dobush. Rebound, scramble to the line, not out. Darlene holds it in for the right point. Directs it this way on the near half wall. Tage Thompson probes. Quarterbacks it down to the bottom of the left circle. Doan back for Thompson. Now Doan once again. Bottom of the near left circle is where he's stationed. Thompson bumped it onto the right circle. Darlene rink wide on a pocket pass. Collected by Doan to the goal line. Quinn down to the ice to try to block a shot was Matheson. Quinn held on to it. Quinn skates to the perimeter. Trades places with Thompson. Looks at the top of the left circle. Served it across for Quinn. Quinn moves into the dot on the right circle. Gave it on to the goal line for Darlene. Darlene back up high. Quinn a drive. He scores! Jack Quinn! With a wrister from the high slot. beats Dobish, and on the power play, Buffalo has wrangled away the lead. Jack Quinn has his first career Stanley Cup playoff goal as he wires a one-timer through the glove of Dobish, and the Sabres, who were down 3-1 in the first period, have wrestled the lead away from Montreal. It's 4-3. A perfect bullet from Jack Quinn, the 24-year-old from Ottawa, a first-round pick by Buffalo in 2020. And the Sabres have the lead, and here they come back the other way in the blink of an eye. Power tried to thread a pass towards Tuck on the far wing. It was behind him, and Tuck had to track it down in the corner. Cycled back this way for Samuelson on the half wall. Broken up by Anderson. Flipped on out to center for Deneau. Stolen by Power. Flexed back in by Krebs. Shut off in the trapezoid by Dobish. And the Canadiens will try to establish a breakout. Deneau on the far half wall got tangled up with a Buffalo stick, and the Sabres hold the zone. Out of the left circle, McLeod had it go off his skate and then off the short glass, and play is stopped. If Buffalo wins this game tonight, Game 7 of this series would be on the Sabres' home ice in Western New York Monday night. It would be here on the channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Check that, 7:30. Half past the hour Monday night would be Game 7 between Montreal and Buffalo. Canadiens win a neutral zone face-off and will break out to center. Over the line of the left wing, Caulfield waits and shoots, and that deflected up and out of play. Now, we mentioned earlier, after giving up a lot of goals early in Game 5, Martin St. Louis did think about pulling Jakub Dobish in favor of the rookie goaltender Jacob Fowler. But St. Louis kept him in, and he's kept him in tonight here, despite giving up now 4 goals on 23 shots. Face-off coming to the right of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who has not let one in. He's faced 8 shots. He stopped them all after Alex Lyon started the game in goal for Buffalo and gave up goals on each of Montreal's first 3 shots. A turnover here, and a shot in the slot. Missed the net wide of the glove side by Slavkovsky. Sabres out to center, and Thompson lugs it in over the line, right up the middle. Shoots one into the midsection of Dobish, who smothers it down for a whistle. Again, Game 7 of this series, if it is necessary, is Monday night. And then the Eastern Conference Final between the winner of this series and Carolina will either start Tuesday or Thursday. If Montreal wins tonight, that Eastern Conference Final will start Tuesday night. If it goes to a Game 7, it will start Thursday night. The Western Conference Final between Vegas and Colorado starts Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Offensive zone face-off for Buffalo. McLeod on the face-off here to the left of Dobish. Wins it to the wall. Tuck takes it into the far corner to the right of Dobish. Tuck grinding away in deep. Brings it back out to the perimeter. Tried to hand it off for Dahlin. It was stolen away by Bolduc, who flopped it out to center. Samuelson retreats to run it down for Buffalo. Indirectly off the near boards at center and over the line. Swooping in. Doan, a shot body down by Dobish. Rebound free between the circles and slapped on out to center by the Canadian defense. Samuelson backhands it through neutral ice. Tuck hands it off. Doan with speed up the middle. Takes it to the right circle. Hits the brakes with Matheson in front of him. Doan takes it to the far corner. Flipped it to the right point. Byram sent it high to low. Off the skate of Matheson. It tumbles to the right corner. Tuck can't hold it in as he took a hit, and Carrier will knock it out to center. And here comes Montreal, who has not spent a lot of time in the offensive zone in this period. It swung in from the near red line. Dahlin first to it. He'll wind it out to center and over the line. Zucker crashing in left circle, played it across, and Helenius scores! Buffalo again! And it's 5-3. And we'll see if Marty St. Louis will make the change now. For now, it looks like they are going to keep Jakub Dobish in, but meanwhile, It's Consta who gets the goal for Buffalo on a beautiful setup by Doan. And the Sabres have put 5 past Jakub Dobeš. And it is a 5-3 game. And it doesn't feel like we're close to done with the scoring. My goodness. Consta with his second career playoff goal. First round pick by the Sabres in the draft 2 years ago from Finland. Face off to restart play controlled by Montreal. And played back in deep and back out to center. The Canadiens are on it. Over the line of the right wing. Tossed by Demidov to the line. Evans lost it. Forced out to center by Norris. Scramble for the loose puck. Thompson tried to carry over the line. He got flattened by Demidov. Sabres still on the puck, however, and now Montreal has it in neutral territory. As I said, they have not spent much time in the offensive zone of this period. Zach Metsa, the Buffalo rookie, takes it out to center. A diagonal feed over the line. McLeod on the left wing. Tossed into the circle in deep, and a centering pass by Benson. Did not have anyone on the receiving end of it. Canadiens will possess in their defensive zone with Evans. Evans plays it in back of the goal with 6 minutes to go in this second period. A 5-3 Buffalo lead off the latest goal from Consta, who played just 9 games in the regular season this year, did the rookie. Slavkovsky out to center for Montreal. Shoots in it, comes back to him in the trapezoid. Directed onto the right circle. High to low play. Back for Slavkovsky. Taken away. Tuck out to center. Pushed on McLeod. Over the line near right wing. Tried a pocket pass that did not get to Samuelson. It did come to the left point, where it could be shot in deep by Dahlin. From the far corner, Nick Suzuki waiting for it. Has it. Rolls it out to center. Lead feed. Too far for Slavkovsky to control. Instead, he'll try to run it down in the Buffalo zone with Timmins. He does. Into the right circle. A shot by Caulfield on the short side. Shielded and held by Luukkonen. Helenius, as I mentioned, the rookie from Finland, born in 2006, by the way. They keep getting younger. Scored 1 goal and 4 points in the 9 games that he played in the regular season. And then scored his first career playoff goal in Game 5 of this series on Thursday night. And now he has another goal. Buffalo has a ton of confidence that Helenius will be a heck of a player as they develop him. Of course, the Sabres have drafted extremely well over the past handful of years. You think about all of the players that they have drafted, and now all of a sudden they're finally getting a reward on how well the front office has drafted over the years. And now here they sit with a 2-goal lead with about 25 minutes left in regulation time, trying to force a Game 7.
We have once again come to the issue that a car has gone into the pits and we need to replace an onboard camera. I am not joking. I'm running out of cameras. So many people have crashed and their cameras are not working. However, one car that had crashed earlier that I had to remove is now back in the race. So I can use their onboard again. The wonders of endurance racing. As we get booth cam.
Yeah, Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson and the Canadian feed on Sportsnet in Canada.
Why am I getting the Canadian feed? Okay. Not going to ask questions even though I just did.
Shots on goal are 26-12 in favor of Buffalo with about 5:22 left in this second frame. Face off.
I think we're synced. I don't know.
Face off to the left of Luukkonen, controlled by Buffalo. I think you're right. As the Sabres will break it out to
I hope I'm right.
Dahlin darts it in towards the Montreal zone, targeted Thompson. It was spun away from him by Hudson, and Montreal in the defensive zone will try to break out. Up the near wall, Slavkovsky got tied up by Benson. Puck behind Dobish to the far corner. Noah Dobson played it back in behind the net for Hudson. Broken up by the forechecking Josh Norris, who handles outside the left circle. Spins it in deep for Benson. Beyond him, but it came to Thompson in back of the goal. Played it up the far boards, intercepted by Uri Slavkovsky. Left wing over red over blue. He'll one-hand it into the Buffalo zone. Samuelson behind the net. Moves it along for Dahlin. Dahlin was able to rip it up the near wall, and the Sabres are out to center. Now played back into the Buffalo zone to our right. They'll take their time. A frisbee pass out to center was intercepted, and the Canadiens possess. They haven't had a lot of time in the offensive zone in this period, and they won't have any here, as Anderson quickly has the puck taken out of his grasp. Sabres try to break it out to center. It's turned over up the left wall. Matheson played it in back of the goal. Dahlin lost his stick as it came to the near corner for Anderson, and we've got a stoppage in play here. And do we have another penalty coming up here? Let's see. Looks like we do.
Buffalo number 89, minor penalty for hooking.
It's a hooking call on Tuck. And Montreal will be on the power play again.
There were audible gasps in JT's studio for two close calls, which I am getting to show you in the next ad break. My God. Guys, chill out. There's still 11 hours left in this race.
10th penalty of this game. And Montreal to the power play. Face off to the left of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. They're 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight, 7 of 24 in the series. They win the draw to the right point. Hudson gave it to Demidov, bottom of the right circle, Slavkovsky. Demidov has it again, looks towards the net, shoots one through traffic, it deflected. Came back to Demidov, top of the right circle. Now Hudson winds it up, fakes the one-timer. Flexed onto the left circle for Caulfield, to the goal line, Suzuki. For Caulfield once again, he's pressured, given to Hudson, into the middle, Slavkovsky had it go through his wickets. Demidov cradled it right back to him, and now those two play catch. Demidov off the top of the right circle on the near side. Gives for Suzuki. Finessed on for Slavkovsky. Two Sabres around him. He has to anxiously play it below the goal line. Caulfield to Hudson off the left circle. Back up high. Suzuki drifts left, feeds Caulfield up top. Hudson a shot, knocked down by Luukkonen. Rebound, punched away to the far wall. Suzuki holds the zone on the left circle dot. Tried to play one across. It went off a Buffalo stick, cleared all the way down. Quickly played ahead by Dobish. Hudson over the line of the right wing, does not have numbers. Turned it to the left circle for Suzuki. Sauced on for Hudson one more time. Bounce to the right circle, Demidov. Into the middle for Slavkovsky. Off a stick, it bounces in the air. It comes back down to Demidov. Bottom of the right circle with 50 seconds left on the penalty time. Slavkovsky from the right circle. Pocket pass across. Hit McLeod in the skates. Hudson from the left point held it in. Then he tried a long wrister, and that got blocked, and it ricocheted out of the zone. Both teams shuffle bodies on and off the ice as Hudson gains entry again. Down the near wall, he sneaks his way to the corner. Low to high for Texier from the right point. Bolduc from the top of the left circle. Looks to the net, shoots one. Deflected high and over the cage. Hudson off the near half wall, holds the zone. 22, now 21 seconds left on the penalty time. Hudson wide of the dot on the right circle. Shoots one on the short side. It went just wide of Luukkonen. Sabres trying to clear it. Kirby Dach holds it in from the far corner. Goes through the legs of a Sabre penalty killer that does not have a stick. Dobson up high. Texier left circle, a shot deflected just wide. Comes to the near corner, Bolduc. 2 seconds and 1 on the penalty time. It's over. And Buffalo clears the zone and out of the box. Tuck has a breakaway. He's in on goal. He shoots. Stopped by the glove of Dobish. And Dobish will play it on for Bolduc. Dobish with a key stop there on Tuck, who had a breakaway out of the box. In front of the Buffalo bench, we've got a whistle to stop play. Huge penalty kill by the Sabres. And then they nearly turn it into another goal as Tuck out of the box got sprung, and Dobish with a big glove stop on him. This game has just been out of this world. Still more than a period left in it. You can see top of your picture, 5-3. Buffalo leading Face off at dead center, controlled by the Sabres. Samuelson moved it up the near wall and into the Montreal zone. Mike Matheson gets to it, the 31-year-old from Quebec. Breaks out to the right of his cage, and he'll start through center. Sent up the left wing side over red over blue, Anderson. Anderson takes it in back of the goal towards the near corner. Circles the track and swings it back in deep. Philip Deneau gets tied up by Zach Metza. Loose puck out of the far corner. Evans poked it on to Matheson at the left point. He'll walk the line backpedaling to the left circle, and a shot right on. Stopped and held by the glove hand of Luukkonen. Again, Alex Lyon started this game in goal for Buffalo. He gave up 3 goals on 3 shots. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has come in, and he has now stopped all 11 shots that he has seen. And Buffalo, with an explosive second period here, has fought back here to lead 5-3.
Matthew.
JT.
I've just had an advert for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Never heard of it.
Never heard of that. No, I have not once heard of that. Face off to the right of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Out of the far circle. Philip Deneau won the draw for Montreal, but it splits the Demon at the line. Matheson and Dobson, so it goes all the way down into the Buffalo zone, and the Sabres are on it. Wide of the dot of the right circle, Zucker sent one towards the front, deflected to the stick of Doan, now into the slot. A shot taken by Byram. Did not make it through the traffic in front. Deneau will help it out to center. Final minute of the period. Evans left wing over red over blue. Evans down the wall, backhands it around to Anderson in the near corner, pressurized by Dahlin. Below the goal line, Deneau fishing for it. Buffalo can clear all the way down to icing. Alexandre Carrier gets to it. From Quebec City, he'll flex it out to center. Steered in by Dobson, and we get a whistle as that puck ends up in the crowd. 33 seconds left in this second period. A 5-3 Buffalo lead. They have scored 3 unanswered goals. Well, they've scored 4 unanswered goals overall after they trailed 3-1, and they've scored all 3 goals of this second period. Benson, Quinn on the power play, and Helenius. Canadiens control the face-off. It's dumped in by Evans to the Buffalo zone, but he was from outside the red line, so that is icing. And now Buffalo will get an offensive zone face-off. Canadiens scored their 3 goals in the first period within 9 minutes of each other. Xhekaj, Demidov, and Evans. Demidov's goal was on the power play. Evans scored short-handed. And they blitzed out to a 3-1 lead. They win the defensive zone draw, does Montreal. And it's harpooned back into the Buffalo zone to the near corner by Demidov. Taken back out of the far corner by Josh Doan, who lobbed it out to center. Final dozen of the period. Puck slapped into the right of the goalminder. Dobish turned over and then tried to turn back to the slot, and it comes to the right point instead. Metza shot blocked, ricochets out to center, and that'll end the second period. So period 2 in the books, and Buffalo has scored 4 unanswered goals, 3 in the second period, and they've got a 5-3 lead going to the money period of Game 6. They are 20 minutes away from forcing a Game 7, while Montreal, to finish this series on home ice tonight, will have to make up a 2-goal deficit in the third.
And I'm telling you right now, I will not be here on Monday night. It's Tuesday morning for me because I have to be up at 8 a.m. So yeah, Matthew, my banana ball screen.
Yes.
Can you see it?
I will be in a moment. Yes, sir.
Okay. We're going to start with the top left. Close moment number 1.
Well, again, we're going side by side and into a corner, trying to thread the needle. Oh, my goodness. Oh, they're very impatient for this to be an endurance race.
And then this happened at the exact same time as this. On board with the 67.
HRT Ford Racing Team. Oof. Goodness. 24-hour race, and they're not really acting like it.
Nope. As Max Verstappen, the leader's into the pits.
Still in darkness over there in Germany. What time
is he
is
gonna?
It? It's about 4 a.m. over there, I'm wanting to say.
It is, yeah, about to hit 4 a.m. and it looks like Max Verstappen's getting out.
Oh.
Second place, 80's into the pits, 992, look out! Another 3 wide moment on the Nordschleifer. And you may notice that they don't use flags at night, they use yellow boards. I'll see if I can get an example for you on any of the cameras. I will tell you what one when I see them, because there are yellows out on the circuit. There's bound to be yellows on a 25-kilometre long circuit. With over 160 cars. There is over 160 cars on this track right now.
Good Lord.
Okay. I am scanning for a yellow. I don't know what car is going to reach it first. "992 is not waiting for anything." How he is not crashed yet, I do not know. 67! Through the S's part of the Nordschleifer. Because why not?
By the way, for those wondering, and maybe no one at all is wondering this, but for those wondering, if this series does go to a Game 7, Game 7 would be Monday night, Jarek Rubel would have the call of that one. And we would also have on that night a separate stream for Game 1 between the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Final in the NBA. We are officially to that time, JT, we are in the conference final stage of both hockey and basketball playoffs. The Eastern Conference Final will be the Knicks against either the Pistons or the Cavaliers. Detroit and Cleveland playing Game 7 tomorrow night of their series at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to determine who will play the Knicks. And we know the Western Conference Final will be the Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander taking on Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs.
Nice. Texas Tailgaters walk-off home run. They're going to increase their lead. Once again. Here, on the 8:30 onboard US, can you see that one?
Where am I looking?
The 8:30 onboard, bottom right on one of the screens.
Oh, I have to change screens. That's how many screens he has up. Hold on. Okay, 8:30, yes.
Yes, bottom right. You can see how the marshals are using boards instead of flags.
Okay. That
See?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be out there in the dark of night.
I don't know why when I use the arrow keys it keeps jumping to the start of the stream. That's not what I want it to do, please. Please and thank you. I was going to try and get
the 80 on board has gone blank.
Oh. What a shame. As now the 8:30 goes through another green flag. There's a lot of yellows. The 50 is in his garage right now, so I don't know why this onboard is just frozen like that. It should be. This car's currently not on track, and there goes the 80 back in full vision. Oh, as soon as I mention it should be saying currently not on track, it puts it to currently not on track. Are they listening to me? And now you can see in the top right on the 81, the yellow boards being in a use there. Is this going to be a barrier repair into a code 60? Yes, this is a barrier repair.
Oh, we got some sports media news.
Go on.
And I say sports a little tongue-in-cheek here. Fox Sports has lost the rights to the Westminster Kennel Club dog show. Netflix has taken over those rights.
Never heard of it. I forgot that the Silverstone 24-hour kart race is going on at the moment. I believe the owner of the Fun Cup is there. The Fun Cup Championship we do. Let me check his. He said, and for those of you wondering whether I know how to drive karts, well, luckily for me, I edited out all the skill issues and you'll never truly know. Incredible. I am delaying getting another on board.
Yeah, it would seem so.
Yes. Can we... Is the 36 running? Nope. The 17 I know binned it. The 44 binned it. The 16 binned it. I might not have an onboard to replace it with. The 8th is the number 1 running? Nope. Is the 109 running? Yeah. But I already have that on board. Is the 632 back out on track? Nope. You would think there would be an easier way to do this, Matthew. Is the 88 on track? Yes, it is. I feel like I've already got that. Yes, I do. Okay. No, I'll just, like, I've got the 3, definitely. I've got the 81, I've got the 88, I've got the 67. 632 is not running. 992 I've got. 80 I've got. That I've got. 830 I've got. 17's not running. 67 I've got. 109 I've got. 1's not running. 36 is not running. 16 is not running. 50 is not running. 911's not running. It actually may be game over. I actually might have run out of onboards.
The horror.
I could put the German broadcast on there, but I'm assuming it's the same pictures as the British broadcast. So what would be the point of that? Hold on, let's check. 10 hours 52. It's different. I'm not joking. The pictures on the German broadcast are completely different to the British broadcast. You get an honorary spot.
So hold on. You're saying that we are simultaneously watching a race with a German feed and a British feed, and we're watching a hockey game with a Canadian feed and an American feed.
Yeah.
Wow.
With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 onboards and a driver tracker and a pit lane camera.
Wow.
The 67 is getting into a little bit of sketchy moment again. The 80 has got a BMW right in front of him. 60. Oh, this 67 is gonna crash.
I like how this has been This has been a watch-along of the 24 hours of Nürburgring, and a hockey game just broke out.
I cannot believe hockey interrupted my 24 hours of Nürburgring.
Of
Right,
course, perhaps
Matthew.
it's better than what happened with us doing hockey last Saturday when all hell broke loose.
We don't talk about that. How many of my screens can you see at once? Can you see all
God.
3 or just 2?
Yeah, all of them.
Nice. I hope you're enjoying.
I'm enjoying all right.
And welcome to my world. There was one time where, as soon as I looked down at an onboard camera, the car crashed into the wall spectacularly. So it wasn't me focusing on that car that made it crash. I swear, because there is a stream delay. There is definitely a stream delay. So the car was already in the barriers. Yeah. As we have gone 11 hours, we've gone 13 hours and 11 minutes in this race, and we've only completed 82 laps. That is how long these laps are. Oh my god, this 67. Calm down.
You're on a crusade against the 67.
Just watch this 67 on the bottom left of the banana ball screen, because this is insane.
Oh.
They all kept out the way. That's good.
Oh, yeah, that is. It is.
It's because we're at the part. Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, he's got off.
There he went.
There he goes. I told you it was going to happen, Owen. I told you. As we've got the 109 in the top right of that same screen, who was around that when it happened.
I mean, is this an endurance race for amateurs? Like, and Max Verstappen just, showed up? Because, I mean, like I said, every time that I've seen anything about this on Twitter today and what we're seeing here over the last couple of hours, it's just been complete and total chaos.
The whole 24 hours is like this, and that is what makes the Nürburgring 24 hours the best thing in the world. That and the formation lap. My God, the formation lap of the Nürburgring 24 hours.
Wow.
Where you have the fans lining the circuit, and by the time the cars come by on the first lap, they are all back behind the wall. There is a replay. That happened in front of the leader. The 67 bin in it very nearly took out the leader of the race. I just saw a replay of that on the German feed. Now, it does seem like the German and the British feed are now the same, but they weren't earlier. So they do break away from each other. Interesting. Is it all calm on the front? I think it's all calm out on the front. As the 830 gets smoked by a GT3. Sorry, an SP9. The classes in the Nürburgring are named different things than the rest of the world. And now the 830 has got a barrier repair in front of him. Never mind, they are transiting between. Yep, let's just have a massive lorry on in towards the carousel. The 80, that's going to be contact. Never mind.
Oh, it's Boot, Scoot, and Boogie at the Banana Bowl game.
Oh yeah. I haven't really been focusing on that.
And see, that's
Gonna
the
be
upset
honest.
of all upsets right there.
Getting a replay of the 67's masterclass once again on the German feed, but not getting it on the British feed. So they are different. The 3 is getting very close to back markers. Did we just get a double in Banana Ball? Yes, we did.
I'm happy that you enjoy Banana Bowl.
Firefighters need to step up their game. There was history last night
Was there?
in the Banana Ball, and it was incredible history at that. So, as you are well aware, Matthew Owens, they resurrected the Indianapolis
They
Clowns
did.
Back from the Negro Leagues, and the Indianapolis Clowns disbanded in 1989. 37 years later, they return to Banana Ball, and for the first time in 37 years, they played a home game in Indianapolis.
My goodness.
And it was incredible. They had this 40-minute pre-show going through the whole history of the Clowns from 1929 to 1989, highlighting every single player that was an importance to the original Indianapolis Clowns. They all had flags going around the field with their numbers on. You had the president of the Negro Leagues Museum there. You had an original Indianapolis Clowns player there. Incredible history making. Back to the game. I don't know if you say this, but it is time for the money period.
It is indeed. Third period underway. Buffalo wins the face-off, immediately shoots into the Montreal zone. Matheson out of the far corner to the right of Jakob Dobish. Flipped it up the far wall, and it's into a crowd. A board battle ensues outside the far circle. 3 Canadiens and 2 Sabres dueling here. Finally, it's dug out by Carrier. Played up the far wall, and the Canadiens will try to break out, but Caulfield loses it immediately in neutral territory as Matthias Samuelsson wrestled it away from him. Puck into the Buffalo zone to our left. It's to the right of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who's out of the corner looking at Suzuki, digging it out. Plays it corner to corner, now to the point. D to D this way. Matheson down the near wall. Suzuki, who's had a quiet night so far, hands it off. Carrier with a pocket pass across. It bounced over the stick of Matheson, who had to track it down off the corner wall. Josh Norris picks up a loose puck and will elevator it out to center. Through neutral territory, Hudson hits the accelerator over the line. Left wing of the circle, a shot fought off by Luukkonen. Rebound to the far corner. Newhook hits the brakes there. Cycles it in deep. Demidov. Pie slice to the left of Luukkonen. Got tied up by Buffalo's Bowen Byram. Puck dug out of traffic. Doan chops it out to center. Hudson will try to run it back down. He does just before Buffalo number 91, Josh Doan, gets to it. Back out to neutral territory. The Canadiens are on it. Jackknifed in deep by Jake Evans into the Buffalo zone to our left. Bowen Byram from behind the Buffalo net snaps it out to center. Hudson has it deflect back to him. Indirectly out to center, Newhook, who's been red hot. Left wing it over the line. He'll shove it in deep. Evans goes after it. Byram's there first. Taken out to center by Owen Power. Hits red, then blue up the middle. Goes down, but hands it off. Then he takes his own teammate down, Jack Quinn. They play on through all of that contact. Bolduc out to center for Montreal. Flippers it in from the near red line. Tries a chip and chase, but he's met there by Connor Timmins near edge of the trapezoid. From the near corner, it comes back out to the left circle and now behind the net. Suzuki twisting and turning against Helenius, who scored the 5th Buffalo goal in that second period. Knocks it out to center. Matheson between the benches. Drags it back to Bolduc. Left wing. Strikes red, then blue. Chips it in. First one to it is Rasmus Dahlin in behind Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Tried to backhand it up the dasher and out, but it's held in. Suzuki, a centering feed from the near corner, did not get to his target, Kirby Dach. Matheson pinches in from the right point, lost it. Out to center, Buffalo, a 2-on-1. Benson roaring up left wing to the circle, hits the brakes and tries to center it back, and he could not find Doan. It is instead cleared out to center, and here comes Montreal the other way. Anderson from the left circle, button hooks his way behind the net. From the far corner, a low to high play, D to D this way. Newhook, a shot through traffic, gets blocked, and it ricochets out to center. Canadiens will have to restart from their own zone. Doing so is Alexandre Texier. Texier tried to hand it off to Newhook. Back for Texier, who gains entry over the line near wing. Taken away in back of the goal by Matthias Samuelsson. Wound up the far wall, and Alex Tuch bowls his way out to center and carries over the line. Played it across Metsä with a shot that missed the far post on the stick side of Dobish. Montreal clears out. Run back down in the Buffalo zone by the Sabres, Matthias Samuelsson. Buffalo more than happy to play keep away and keep this clock winding as we're just about 4 minutes in to the third period. Jack Quinn through center, gains the red line and harpoons it in. Taken away by Carrier. Brought back up by Montreal on a shovel in to the near corner. First one to it is Caden Gooley. Gooley plays it corner to corner. Taken away by Helenius, not out. From the right point, Carrier in deep. Demidov took a hit from behind by Samuelsson. The loose puck picked up and charged out to center by Bowen Byram. With enough backspin, it will still make it for icing. Haven't had a lot of icings tonight. We get one there.
Matthew.
Against Buffalo, yes.
Real quick on the banana ball screen, top left, the 992, very nearly, well, attempted murder on the guy in front and attempted suicide on himself. Ready?
Okay. It's a big lead up. Oh, wow. Oh, you are right about that. Montreal wins an offensive zone face-off. Comes around to the near corner where Newhook pinches in. Tried to play it in back of the goal. Slavkovsky, a centering feed, did not make it to a target. Helenius gains the red line and shoots it into the Montreal zone. Noah Dobson gets to it and scraped it out to center for Suzuki. A drop for Dotson through center, gaining steam over the line. Winds up a big one-timer, missed the net on the far side of Luukkonen. Comes out to the left point, Suzuki. High slot for a shot by Hudson, blocked. Buffalo gets it out to center. Back into the Montreal zone. The Canadiens are on it. They've got 15 minutes to score at least two here, the Canadiens. Left wing and over the line, Juraj Slavkovsky. Tried to turn and hit the brakes, but got run into by one of his own teammates. Puck caroms out to center again. Shot in from the far red line of the Buffalo zone. Puck comes to the near wall, and Tage Thompson is on it. Thompson outlets for McLeod, who got turned back by Bolduc. Instead, played it on back into the Buffalo zone for a quick restart. It's nearly turned over to Bolduc. Instead, McLeod comes to grab it off the near half wall of his defensive zone, flexed out and tuck into the offensive end in the Montreal zone to the left circle. He hits the brakes, turns back, wires it rink wide. It missed McLeod. It was behind him. Demidov a takeaway to Bolduc off the far red line, hooks it in. Taken away by Rasmus Dahlin, the Buffalo captain. Splinters it out to center. Kirby Dach, the former Chicago Blackhawk, plays it back for the Canadiens in the defensive zone for Hudson, who's been on the ice quite a bit in the first 6 minutes of this third period. Through neutral territory, guided in towards Luukkonen. Moved to the far corner, stolen by Deneau. Pressed into the boards by Helenius. Buffalo attempts to clear, they do with Zucker. Out to center, Hudson's back on it again. Canadiens down a pair. Just north of 6 minutes gone in the period. Slap for Deneau. Knocked away by Metsä. Carries over the line and feeds the left circle. Shot right on. Stopped by Dobish. Rebound free to the far corner. Deneau gets to it. Benson was the one with the shot, and here's Montreal the other way. And with space, cutting it off the right wing was Anderson. Tried a shot in deep. Not sure who it hit off of. Samuelsson, though, was able to find the loose change and get it out to center. Slapped back in. Chopped from the near red line into the Buffalo zone. Sabres rookie Zach Metsä gets to it out of the corner. He's able to racquetball it up the near wall and out. Played back off the far red line by Demidov. Had his pocket picked by Benson. Benson over the line, wedged it for Thompson, who was moving up the right wing, but they're across offside.
Okay, Matthew, it turns out I showed you the wrong clip.
Oh. Okay.
This is the one that I meant to load up.
Here we go.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. Do have a break in the action, by the way. So, oh, does he have a signal light on?
Yes.
Good lord.
That was close.
Golly.
That was very close.
Why did that car have a signal light on?
They do have working indicators to you guys at turning signals.
Did you just call it an indicator?
That is what we call them over here.
Wow, I've never once heard that.
Have you not?
No.
Okay.
Always heard it called a signal light.
I don't know what onboard to watch. It has gotten to that point. It looks like the sun is starting to rise over in Germany. A little bit.
About 4:30, so sunrise should be fairly soon.
Oh, the 80 on the grass.
I don't know how you watch all of this at once. Like all the people in March Madness that put the 4 games up on the same screen, like, I mean, that's all well and good, but you can really only pay attention to one game at once, right?
No.
Unless you're JT. See, I guarantee.
The 992 again.
See, I guarantee you, when we get to March next year, JT's gonna have a system where we're calling a game, but he's gonna have all 4 games on a separate scoreboard on the screen. He's gonna come up with
that would be so fun.
Face off to restart play in neutral territory controlled by Buffalo. They lead by 2 with under 13 minutes left. Tuck carries in over the Montreal line. Slingshot's a one-hander wide of the net. It came to Tuck in the slot, and a shot right on, kicked out by Dobish. Rebound free behind the net, shoveled in front, and a shot hit the post from McLeod. It stayed out, and Montreal's out to center. Hudson dropped it off for Newhook to fly in over the left wing line. Takes it to the corner. Low to high play. Hudson at the line. Walks the line left to right. Long wrister from the high slot. Blocked down by McLeod. And the Sabres out to center. McLeod will feather it in so Buffalo can go off on a change. Montreal will do the same. Shots on goal are 30-16 Buffalo. Where it counts, the Sabres lead. 5-3. Canadiens shoot in. Icing is called.
992 decided it was a good idea to go side by side with a service vehicle up ahead.
That shot by McLeod hit the crossbar behind Dobish, who Marty St. Louis has left in.
And this will shock you, Matthew. The Nürburgring is so strict that if you speed under a yellow flag, your license could be revoked.
Oh God!
That is how strict they are.
Wow. Face off to
you make one mistake, your license gone.
It's crazy. Face off to the left of Dobish, controlled by Buffalo. Long shot from the right point by Dahlin. Dobish kicked it out. Dahlin at the line holds the puck in. Cross corners it to the right of Dobish. Out of the corner, Montreal gets to it, tries to clear. Held in by Zucker off the far half wall. He scales it around towards the near corner. Helenius on the forecheck, taken away by Noah Dobson, and the Canadiens will start out to center again. Steered into the Buffalo zone by Caulfield, but the Sabres are on it. And Montreal just has had very little time in the offensive zone since the first period. Really, they didn't have a whole lot in the first period. They scored 3 shots on scored rather 3 goals on 3 shots to start the game, and that was it. 1 on the power play, 1 shorthanded. Buffalo has iced the puck here with 11:11 left.
Of course, it's not like if you speed over by like a kilometer an hour or 5 kilometers an hour, it's for the extreme cases like you're going 250 kilometers an hour in a 60 kilometer an hour speed limit. So yeah, there are lower penalties for the lower speeding infringements, but if it's like a 100% throttle through a controlled area, then yeah, your license is getting revoked and you have to earn it again.
Canadiens win an offensive zone faceoff. That's smart, really. Hudson from the left point sends it to the high slot where it's tossed in deep. Texier out of the corner got tangled up with Timmins. It's held in at the line. No, it's not. Anderson tried to play it at the line where Hudson lost it, and it's taken away, and a Buffalo breakaway, and a shot by Benson dragged wide, but we've got a penalty upcoming. Benson on a steal had a breakaway, and Anderson
Penalty for slashing.
slashed him, as you just heard. So Buffalo will go back to the power play.
And it works because they trust the drivers enough to be able to put service vehicles and recovery trucks and repair vehicles out on the track with GT3 cars going by at speed. So it does actually work, and it is pretty safe, even though so many things have happened at the Nürburgring, considering.
Buffalo on the power play. They've scored twice on the man advantage tonight. 2 for 4 tonight. 7 of 22 in the series. They win the draw. Dahlin serves it to the bottom of the right circle. Benson, a pocket pass across, broken up. And Montreal out to center, shorthanded Newhook. Left wing tries to squeeze past Dahlin down the near wall. Taken away behind the net by Jack Quinn. Forwarded on for Doan up the middle. Flexed it up the left wing to Benson. Hits the brakes. Turns it back to the line. Dahlin to quarterback. Hands it for Thompson. Angled on for Dahlin, who shoots one, and it snapped it off the right pad of Dobish. Quinn on the rebound off the corner boards to Thompson. Now Quinn from the bottom of the left circle. Up to Tage Thompson. Looks towards the net. Back to Quinn. A sharp angle shot. He scores! Jack Quinn from an impossible angle that he made possible scores the 3rd power play goal of the night for Buffalo, and the Sabres lead by 3. The power play strikes again for Lindy Ruff and the Sabres. Jack Quinn with a snipe from wide of the dot and bottom of the left circle, a one-timer that he roofs over the top of Dobish's right shoulder, and that might spell the end of the night now for Jakub Dobish. And it is 6-3 Buffalo as Jack Quinn has his 2nd goal of the night. And indeed, the rookie goaltender out of Melbourne, Florida, Jacob Fowler, by way of Boston College, will come into this game and mop-up duty, finish up the last 10 minutes in net for Montreal, and heading towards a Game 7 on Monday. This is not what Marty St. Louis and the Canadian fans wanted to see. A shaky performance again from Jakub Dobish, and a young goaltender that might have his confidence broken heading towards a Game 7 Monday night. Buffalo wins the face-off to restart play, immediately chopped into the Montreal zone. Shots on goal are basically a 2-to-1 ratio, as you see, 33-16. Puck is harpooned into the Buffalo zone by Slavkovsky. Samuelson first to it, wound around the boards, out to center, it's Tuck. Left wing over the Montreal line. Tuck on the circle, makes a move in deep and backhanded it through the blue painted out. It may have glanced off a Fowler. Came towards the slot, McLeod missed it. It's out all the way to Luukkonen. Luukkonen on the other end has stopped all 13 shots he's seen since he replaced Alex Lyon. Sabres over the Canadian line on the left wing. Zucker sent it in deep. Behind the net towards the near corner, Helenius tried to turn to his forehand, couldn't, so he dealt it in behind. In the trapezoid, it was pushed back up the wall by Quinn. Rink wide now to Metsa, national champion at Quinnipiac in his college days, sends it to the left point. Byram with a long wrister missed the net wide to Fowler's right. Then Metsa with a shot from the point. Missed it to Fowler's glove side wide. And the Canadiens will clear as it's swept out by Gooley. And this is all the way down for icing. So we've had a double goaltender change in this game. Don't see that often. Lyon started for Buffalo, was replaced in the first period by Luukkonen. And for Montreal, Dobish replaced after 2.5 periods by rookie Jacob Fowler. Of course, Sam Montembeault was the goaltender of record for much of the season for Montreal last year, including in the playoffs. Canadiens win a defensive zone draw. Gooley swings it around the near dasher. Newhook trying to force it over the line. Timmins tried to keep it in, could not. Gooley came away with it and flexed it on for Matheson, who pitchforked it in from the far red line. Thompson settled it down, and we've got a whistle to stop play with 8:27 left here. A 6-3 lead for Buffalo. Jack Quinn on the power play again. And the Sabres with a turnaround here, a massive one. They trailed 3-1 at one point. They now lead 6-3 past the midway point of the third.
Matthew, stress levels are high again. The 992 has reached more traffic. So has the 67. As the sun is starting to rise here at the Nürburgring. 67 got round the first one. 992 to the inside of the first one, yeah.
Probably to the delight of all the drivers, the sun's starting to rise.
Yeah. Still 10 and a half hours to go, though. And this race is so big, Matthew. The formation lap. The 992. Was there a little bit of a touch there? Looked like it. This race is so big. The formation lap takes 20 minutes to complete. They start the race in 3 groups. Group 1 starts at the top of the hour. Group 2 starts at 3 minutes past the hour. And Group 3 starts at 6 minutes past the hour. They start the race in 3 groups in 3-minute increments. So technically the formation lap takes 26 minutes, but for the last 6 minutes they are racing in one half of the circuit and not the other. And because Group 3 start was delayed a little bit, they started later than they should have. Group 1 caught Group 3 up sooner, and it created chaos because they caught them up too soon.
Face off to restart play, controlled by Buffalo out to center, though Hudson a takeaway. It was knocked into the Buffalo zone by Joe Veleno. Sabres quickly clear out. This is backhanded into the Montreal zone. Will not make it for icing. Noah Dobson gets to it. Shots on goal, as you see now, 34-16 in favor of Buffalo. Veleno darts it in. Samuelson reverses it up the far wall and out. Josh Doan from between the benches will poke it in. Hudson knocked it down and will start the other way with it. Makes a move to get over the line up the middle. Tries a shot that was rubbed out by Power. Loose puck below the goal line to Byram. Byram up the wall, not out. Now it is on the effort by Zucker. As we're down to 7.5 to go in regulation time. Puck guided into the right of Luukkonen. He'll take it with his stick and put his glove hand over it to freeze play. So you got some goaltending questions for both of these teams heading to Game 7 on Monday. One would think that Martin St. Louis will keep Dobish in, although, again, Dobish has been really shaky after giving up 3 early goals in Game 5, where St. Louis thought about bringing him out, stayed with him. and then gave up 6 tonight. And
We
then
got an empty net.
for Buffalo, wow, yeah, Montreal has taken Fowler out. 7 minutes left. It's an empty net. Goodness. Extra attacker on, and they won the draw. And Caulfield at the side of the goal tried to stuff it in, and he missed high and over the cage. Puck comes out to the right point. Extra skater out for Montreal. Wide of the dot on the left circle, Suzuki. To the goal line, Anderson. Low to high. Now back for Suzuki again. Shot on the short side, shielded by Luukkonen, who's been a brick wall tonight. Out of the near corner, Suzuki to Caulfield. Side of the goal, a stuff bid by Slavkovsky. Kept out by Luukkonen and may have glanced off a post. Held in at the line. Demidov directed it to Suzuki from the left circle. Behind the net, Slavkovsky. Suzuki in the slot, a wheel around shot was blocked. Came back out to the right circle. Demidov helped it onto the back. Long wrister, tipped right on. Stopped by Luukkonen. The tip by Slavkovsky off the initial shot by Dobson. Buffalo can clear. Montreal's going to tag up, and that's a heck of a challenge with all these skaters they have on the ice. They get over the line. Slavkovsky into the middle. Caulfield could not find a bouncing puck. Buffalo could not clear from the right circle. Demidov, a shot snapped away by the glove hand of Luukkonen, who gets a whistle. This is going to be a chaotic last 6 minutes. I don't know if I've ever seen a goalie pulled with more than 7 minutes left.
Also, you mentioned earlier one of the teams pulled their goalie and replaced it with a rookie, and well, it's not gone well if you've been replaced by a rookie.
Well, indeed. And just to finish up that thought about the goaltending issues that Buffalo will face for Game 7, who does Lindy Ruff want to put in as Montreal wins the face-off? Centering pass could not get through, and Buffalo clears. Matheson gets to it in the Montreal zone. Again, the net empty for the Canadiens, down 3 with 6 minutes left. Shooting in deep, Bolduc tried to get to it before Timmins. He gave Timmins a big knock in the corner. Buffalo clears, puck all the way down towards the empty net. Might go in. It does! Well, an attempted clear gets through the traffic, and I believe it's Tage Thompson who's going to get the goal. It is. And that goes, goodness gracious, about 180 feet or so down the ice from our left to our right. Thompson just getting the puck wide of the dot on the near circle, and he shoots it nearly full length of the ice and down into the yawning cage. The extra point is good for Buffalo. They lead 7-3.
Is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill? Everyone is now leaving.
Yes. Indeed they are. Thompson gets the goal, his third of the series, 5th career playoff goal. It's a 4-point night for Thompson. He also has 3 assists. Montreal wins the draw, and Veleno staples it in. Greenway out of the corner takes a hit. Now, of course, you got a 7-3 game with more than 5 minutes left. Hopefully the officials are able to keep a hold of this game and not let it get out of hand with big hits, because there's a lot of frustration on the ice for Montreal that they will probably try to take out here. Deneau, cross-corner dump into the left of Luukkonen. Plays it back around the dasher to the left point. Demidov dives it in deep. In back of the goal, Power picks it up before Deneau. Off to the far corner, Metsa. Sabres try to clear. It went off a skate and out of play, though. And with 5 minutes left, that'll send us to our final media timeout of the night. Buffalo has now scored 6 unanswered goals in this game, from 3-1 down to 7-3 up. A massive turnaround to keep their season alive. Game 7 will be in their building Monday night. And what an atmosphere that will be. Again, Monday night we will have a couple of streams for you, as we'll have Game 7 between the Canadiens and the Sabres, along with Game 1 between the Spurs and the Thunder.
Matthew.
JT.
Top right screen, 109, banana ball. the banana ball screen, top
Yes,
right.
109, Toyota
109 car.
Gazoo Racing.
The car that overtook it cut across very
I'm
close to the
sorry.
front bumper.
I'm sorry, I can't pay attention to that because I'm looking at the announcers underneath that. What in the wide world?
Anyway, the car that overtook this car got very close.
Oh, yes, he did. Wow, out of nowhere.
And since he can't handle it, there you go, full screen.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Oh, the 992 again. Some of these cars, at the fastest parts of the circuit, there is a 70-mile-per-hour difference between the fastest and slowest cars on this track. And there's the 992 going around a Dacia, which is the car that I'm talking about. The Dacia Logan, which is up to 70 miles per hour slower on the straights than these GT3 Cup cars.
Goodness gracious.
It is a moving chicane, but it is famous, and, well, yes. They actually denied a car this year because it would be too dangerous, because it was too slow. Even though Dacia still... Don't ask questions. Oh, we're back to a game. Yay.
Buffalo just iced the puck on the last face-off. Montreal wins this one. Hudson sauced across for a one-timer from the left point from Dobson. Guided away by the blocker of Luukkonen. Out of the near corner, Power digs it out. Got it to the line. Not out. Dobson holds it in. Button hooks his way down the wall. Then got tied up. Was able to send it to the cross corner. Banked back by Metza to the line. Still not out. Now it... Well, nope. Newhook held it in. Now Buffalo gets it out. And Tuck will flip it in into the far corner to the right of Jacob Fowler, the 21-year-old rookie goaltender brought in about 6 minutes ago for Jakub Dobish. Flanked in by Joe Veleno. Luukkonen swings it around the far wall. Helenius gets to it, scored his second career playoff goal earlier tonight. One-hands it into the Montreal zone. Xhekaj, who had one of those 3 first-period Montreal goals, gets to it. Winds it around the near boards. Caden Gooley escalators it out. We're inside the final 4 minutes. Game 7 on Monday night between Buffalo and Montreal. It will be in Western New York, home of the Sabres. There'll be obviously a ton of Sabre fans, but there will be a good amount of Montreal fans, as that is not a very long trip for Canadian fans. Of course, probably quite a bit already in that area of New York. Shot in by Buffalo, reversed back out by the Canadiens as we get a whistle. Montreal across offside.
This 67 needs to chill out.
By the way, you know, the last time the Buffalo Sabre franchise won a road game when facing elimination was on this very day 19 years ago, May 16th, 2007. Facing elimination in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, they won on the road in Ottawa, series that, of course, they eventually lost to the Senators. But it's been 19 years since the Sabres won a road game in the playoffs facing elimination to the day, and they're going to do it here tonight. Beck Malenstein carried over the line. Montreal breaks it out to center. Josh Anderson could not send it towards the net. Byram flips it on out to center. And over the line on the left wing come the Sabres, and a shot on the short side missed the net from Peyton Krebs. It deflected back towards Dobish, who tried to cover up, and we've got some extracurriculars after the whistle between Greenway and Xhekaj.
We do indeed.
By the way, you might enjoy this, JT. You're a techie person, of course. Arbor Xhekaj, last name...
Who?
Last name spelled, thank you. Last name spelled Xhekaj, as He's going straight to the locker room. I think he's going to be called for cross-checking here, and that'll be the end of his night. His nickname is Wi-Fi because they say his last name looks like a Wi-Fi password. Those two have been going at it throughout the series and jawing back and forth at one another, Greenway and Xhekaj. So that was bound to happen at some point, and, you know, in a 7-3 game, makes sense for it to happen now. Buffalo's going to be on the power play. Xhekaj
soon to be 8-3.
Yeah. Xhekaj is sent away with the cross-check. Buffalo has scored 3 times on the power play tonight. They win the draw. And we got some pushing and shoving right after the puck was dropped. And now, boy, we've got a real crowd. Josh Norris and Mike Matheson were going at it. Tage Thompson comes in, and we've got 3, maybe even 4 individual battles going on here on the ice. Thompson tied up with Matheson. Over on the near boards, it's Evans and Dahlin. Middle of the ice, you had Alexandre Carrier with someone in white, maybe Norris.
Round 2. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Benson and Carrier are really going at it. I mentioned just a few moments ago that this could get messy. You get a game that's this big of a blowout with so much time still left in it. Get a lot of frustration.
Oh.
And,
they were fully going at it.
Benson is going to take a penalty here, and he's going to go straight to the dressing room because we've only got 2:40 left, and that penalty is going to take longer, is a longer penalty than 2 minutes 40 seconds, so his night is over. He took a slap of Jake Evans' leg with his stick. And we got a mess to figure out here.
This is where it gets confusing because of all of the penalties.
Right.
And especially having to add them to the scoreboard and making that make sense. While we do that, Matthew.
Yes.
On my scoreboard screen, this is an example of how they set up the flagging system.
Oh, okay.
So you have 3 warning marshal flags with single yellows. Then you have a double, these are warning of the speed limit. Then you have a double yellow, which is 120 speed limit. Then you go into the 60 kilometers per hour speed limit where the incident is or where they're working. Then here you have the national speed limit, which is the 2 green flags, and they can go back up to speed. That is how they slow it down gradually and then just go full hell straight after. Behind the scenes of the Nürburgring.
I tell you.
So what penalties do we actually have here?
Well, still waiting to hear, I think, but
Incredible.
It's probably going to remain what it is, Buffalo power play for 156, because, yeah, we're about ready for this face-off. Neutral's territory that Buffalo wins, so it stays a Buffalo power play for 1:56, and we just have some players that we won't see for the rest of the night. As we wind down the final 2.5 minutes, Alex Tuck gains entry over the Montreal line on the right wing, scales it around the dasher. Thompson helped it onto the back. Metsa at the line, D-to-D this way for Dahlin. Dahlin from straight away, feeds Metsa, holds, darts it down to the bottom of the right circle. McLeod back to Metsa, shot it, got underneath Fowler, it got through Fowler, it's in, they score again! It's Zach Metsa, the rookie, a former national champion at Quinnipiac on the college level from Delafield, Wisconsin. Rookie that played 43 games in the regular season and scored 2 goals. This is his first career Stanley Cup playoff goal. A one-timer from the top of the right circle that gets underneath Fowler and squeezes through. It's a 4th power play goal of the night for Buffalo. They have now scored 7 unanswered goals. They lead 8-3.
And if you use that for a video on the TikTok, I would like a clip of me saying soon to be 8-3 before you get to the goal part. Thank you.
Rasmus Dahlin gets a helper on that. It is a 5-point night for Dahlin with a goal and 4 assists, as we've got a quick whistle after the face-off. We are really in a game that has been decided for a long time, taking forever to finish the final 5 minutes of it.
I'm not complaining because more Nürburgring, and I don't have to get up until like 1:30 tomorrow, so all good.
1:30?
Practice starts 2:30, doesn't it? 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
I guess, okay, yeah, okay. I was trying to do the
That
math, and the math was not mathing. Sorry.
Ah.
2:08 left. Face off to the left of Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who has not allowed a goal tonight. Montreal wins the draw, but Buffalo will clear it out. Shot right back in. Luukkonen has faced 17 shots. He's stopped them all after Alex Lyon did not make a single save on 3 shots in the first period. Buffalo into the offensive zone. Long wrister from Timmins wide of the mark from the right point. Puck free off the far wall. Montreal will try to clear. They will. Carried out to center by Newhook from the near red line. He'll 9-iron it in towards the near corner. Banked back to him. Newhook tries a shot on the short side. Went off the leg of his teammate Bolduc and ricocheted wide. Came to the right circle. Shot right on. Stopped by Luukkonen. And held as he makes his 18th save of the night. 1:23 left. Really a dominant performance tonight from Buffalo ever since Luukkonen came into the game. He came in, they trailed 3-1. Since, they've just scored 7 unanswered goals. They win a defensive zone draw. Rolled out to center by Helenius and into the Montreal zone. Canadiens hope that this will not be their final home game of the year. They will have to win on the road in Game 7 in Buffalo to keep their season alive as we strike the final minute. You know, it's been a full week since the Carolina Hurricanes, as Montreal has iced the puck. It's been a full week today since Carolina clinched their spot in the Eastern Conference Final. And we're still not going to know their opponent. That series, with this result tonight, will now not start until Thursday. So Carolina will be a week and a half since their last game. You can really frame that either way. Some people will say the rest will be good for Carolina to have. Other people will say they could be quite rusty when that series begins, having that much time off as the Canadiens start out to center one more time. Gooley lost the puck at the red line. And Buffalo possesses with only about half a minute remaining. Well, the story will be told of this game that Montreal scored on each of their first 3 shots on goal against Alex Lyon. Then Lindy Ruff was quick to the hook to take Lyon out, bring Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in, and from that point on, Montreal did not score, and Buffalo scored 7 straight. They were dominant on the power play. They kept Montreal out of the offensive zone, and as the final seconds winds down, the Buffalo Sabres have forced a Game 7. Buffalo wins it on the road in Montreal by a wide margin, 8-3, the final, and Game 7 will be back in Western New York Monday night. Here on the channel, Jarek Rubel will have the call for you as this series is going the distance to see who moves on to the Eastern Conference Final to take on the top seed in the East, the Carolina Hurricanes. A wild start. Rasmus Dahlin scored 32 seconds into the game for Buffalo. Then, as we said, Montreal scored 3 straight goals on 3 shots, and then 7 unanswered for Buffalo. The Sabres scoring 3 in the second and 3 in the third. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen with a shutout on his own. He stopped all 18 shots that he faced after replacing Alex Lyon tonight. A bunch of crooked numbers in the box score, and some big nights for Sabres. Tage Thompson, a goal and 4 points. His goal was an empty netter. Jack Quinn, 2 goals and 3 points. Rasmus Dahlin, a goal and 5 points tonight. And what a win for Buffalo. As mentioned, 19 years to the day since they had last won a road playoff game when facing elimination. 8-3 the final score as we sign off here just in front of 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So as you see, Buffalo takes Game 6, Game 7 Monday night for the incomparable JT, as good as it gets behind the scenes. Matthew Owens signing off here from the Bell Center in Montreal. Game 7 Monday night. Join us tomorrow for action from Indianapolis. Time trials for the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500 and the NASCAR All-Star Race from Dover, Delaware. Until then, we say good night. Final